is Savardis. He's on the move, and they're going to look for Savardis in the corner. Touchdown!
Rowan heading for the touchpad with the lead, and the props will take the men's 400-yard freestyle relay.
Andrews will be in shotgun. He takes the snap, fakes the handoff. He'll throw it down the left sideline. He's going to wide open receiver. He's got the touchdown.
Okay, moving in. Sends one on goal, and he scores!
And it is a power play goal!
Back to pass, middle of the field. The catch is made by Britt. She's off to the races at the 40, the 30, the 20, the 10. Britt is in for the score.
Back on in. Here's Yoxin. Yoxin to the backhand. Trying to go to the front. Makes the move and shot. And he scores!
Smith delivers. That's it back toward the mound. Weiss has it in short. He steps on second, and the ball game is over. Massapequa Coast has won the 2023 New York State Little League Baseball Championship.
Live from Lombardi Field in Old Bridge, New Jersey, the PDF Sports Network is proud to welcome you into coverage of Old Bridge Knights High School football. Tonight, the Knights look to make it back-to-back wins as they host the Bears of East Brunswick High School. Good evening, everybody. My name is Nicholas Pavona, joined on the call tonight by my broadcast partner, David Pizzuto. And Dave, last week PDF hit the road alongside the Knights for the first time this season. We covered Old Bridge's quality win over South Brunswick. After the game opened, with the Vikings getting a kickoff return, the Knights did not allow a single point the rest of the way in a 21-6 victory. Dave, the Knights did a lot well last Friday night in their win. What stood out to you the most from that performance against South Brunswick?
It was a complete and total victory, Nick. Complimentary football for much of the game. And although they themselves didn't score in the second half, it didn't really matter because their defense was just not having it from the Vikings. They were great against the run, great against the pass, and when they got handed opportunities, especially late in that first half, they maximized and made the Vikings pay. That was a good win against a good team on the road.
Yeah, and if you look at that game as well, Dave, we saw the running attack for the Vikings in that one was stopped by this Knights defense. And we'll talk about that a little bit more later on. But the last three games have seen the Knights defense step up in a big way. They've allowed just 2 scores against Edison, only one against Piscataway, and none last week against that unbeaten South Brunswick team at the time. Last time, I believe this is the first time you and I are on a call together as a duo. The last time you and Joe Foreman covered a game was week 1 against Woodbridge. Woodbridge scored 36 points against Old Bridge in that game. How has the defense so far evolved from that game that you covered with Joe in week 1, and how have they become such a dominant unit?
Well, I talked to Zamir Evans after that Woodbridge game and before the Edison game, Nick, and he said the defense needed to play more cohesively as a unit, and they have. For one, they've been more disciplined, taking less penalties. Their tackling has been sensational. They've been good in the red zone as well. Look, we can't expect any defense to pitch a shutout every game, but you could see some stars developing in this defense now, and it's hard to find a weak link out there. And Nick, let's not forget, sometimes the best defense is a good offense. And in both Old Bridge wins this year, they were able to score 42 combined first half points. It's a good feeling as a defense when you go into halftime with a 2-score lead. It allows you to play loose and with confidence out there, not afraid to make a mistake, and that's the way this defense is playing.
Yeah, the defense has done a great job, and I talked to some of the players last week on the defensive unit. They have been really confident these last couple of weeks. But shifting our focus now to the offensive side of the ball, we've spoken plenty about Brody Nugent and his great start to this season, but he has been have plenty of help along the way on that offense. Last week, his wide assortment of offensive weapons were on full display, especially in that first half. What makes this Old Bridge offense keep the way they've been going, averaging just about 28.5 points per game so far as they've been so dangerous?
Well, Nick, Nugent is the core of this offense. Everything flows through him. And you said it, Old Bridge is starting to show more and more layers to this offense. Jaden Griffith is that big play wide receiver downfield that can turn a short pass into a game-breaking play. Jeremiah Dixon, when he gets to that second level, is a real asset in the run game. And how about Cam Olivencia, Johnny Serrano, and the wide receiver tight end hybrid, Amari Amari Alsbrook starting to really catch on in the passing game. You know, in high school, Nick, I hate to say it, but there are a lot of one or two trick ponies out there who really only try to beat you in one or two ways offensively. As much as Brody Nugent is maturing as a quarterback in his junior year, so too is this offense, and you love seeing that growth.
And you saw it kind of last weekend against the Vikings in that game, Dave. A lot more passing from this offense. Nugent had a really good, strong performance in that one, just 6 incompletions. And as well, that offense just continues to work on so many cylinders. But obviously, Dave, this Knights team is no stranger to close games here at home. The 2 one-possession games that they played this season have seen the result go against them. First in Week 1 against Woodbridge, and then again in Week 3 against Piscataway. Taking a look at the recent history between Old Bridge and East Brunswick, it appears we might have another tight game on deck here tonight. Is there any concern on the part of the Knights with that being the case? Or do you think they come into this game extremely confident against a team that they've beaten each of the last 5 times they faced them?
I think you come in with a lot of confidence here, Nick. For one, you've had a lot of recent success against East Brunswick and know that this has been a favorable matchup. And second, you know, those 2 losses for Old Bridge, they did a lot to beat themselves in those games, especially with penalties. Back in that game against undefeated Woodbridge, they gave up 2 touchdown drives of less than 30 yards because penalties backed them up deep and forced punts from their own end zone. Against Piscataway, Nick, 16 penalties in that game, including one that negated a 70-plus yard run that could have ended the game in their favor. And, of course, you have the turnovers in both games as well, Nick. Here's the thing. If Old Bridge can limit their opponents to just one tonight, the Bears, they should feel poised to get over 500 for the first time this season. But they can't just talk about doing it. They have to actually do it.
Yeah, and the Knights, obviously that has been a big concern for them this season. That penalty yardage has cost them those 2 games that you mentioned earlier on. But in terms of the standings in the National Gold Division, South Brunswick remains in first place with that 3-1 mark on the season. However, Old Bridge is already beating them, and with the Knights currently tied with Piscataway and Monroe at 2-2, they've lost to Piscataway already this season, and will visit Monroe to cover will cover the Knights later this year. Meanwhile, this East Brunswick team coming into the night is 1-3 in desperate need of a win. It's still relatively early in the season, but as a divisional game, Dave, how important is this matchup at this point in the year?
Nick, it's hard to believe it, but we are already knee-deep into mid-season. The focus switches now, and teams have to start separating themselves from the pack. This is one of those games. A win here for Old Bridge, and they could send a message that they're making a run for the division and a playoff berth. A loss, and they're in the thick of the mud near the bottom of the division, and they kind of fade into obscurity there. For the Bears, this is huge. Is their season over with a loss tonight? No. But if they want to make some noise this year in the National Gold, this needs to be a game that East Brunswick pulls out. Otherwise, at 1-4, to me, it's too deep of a hole to crawl out of given what's ahead.
Yeah, and you look at the rest of their schedule, it's going to be tough, especially if they fall to that 1-4 mark. Your viewers just got to look at the standings for this season. But plenty on the line for both of these teams as they now are about to make their way to midfield for the coin toss, as the Knights look to potentially move into first place and the Bears go for win number 2 this season. When we come back, we'll take a closer look at this East Brunswick team that the Knights will face tonight as our pregame show continues after a brief message from our sponsors here on the PDF Sports Network.
Getting a home loan shouldn't feel like an obstacle course. At CMG Home Loans, getting a loan is simple. Our loan officers are here for you every step of the way. With over 2,000 five-star reviews, when you're ready to buy or refi, we'll work together to find the loan you need for the home you love. CMG Home Loans. Simplified, trusted, committed.
Since 2003, Elite Sports Physical Therapy of Morganville has developed customized care and physical therapy programs for thousands of athletes through evaluation and setting athletic goals. Whether a torn ACL, dislocated shoulder, or concussion is keeping you on the sidelines, Our highly trained physical therapists can help you recover and return to the field or court in better shape than ever before. Come see what we are all about. Visit us at elitespt.com or call us today to book a consultation.
When it comes to buying and selling a home, do it with Peter Hunt's Home Team, powered by Century 21. For years, Peter has dedicated his life to the real estate industry, offering help and care to all of his clients. With experience and proven results, Peter is an award-winning realtor and the top producer for Century 21 Action Plus. A resident of Old Bridge, put Peter to work at selling your home or finding the home of your dreams. Call 1-800-299-2129 or reach Peter directly at 9086-014-934.
Okay, we're back here from Lombardi Field as the coin toss is just about to be underway between the Knights and the Bears. And Dave, we spoke about last year's matchup between these two teams, a 2-point victory for the Knights in that game. Brody Nugent had 168 passing yards, did have a couple of interceptions, so that might be the key tonight for the Bears in terms of their defense trying to force some turnovers on this Knights offense. Jaden Griffith with 2 catches, 88 yards and a touchdown, as well as a kickoff return in that game. So kind of what we've seen so far this year from the Knights offense in terms of getting the ball down the field, in terms of rushing ability, and as well as if try to fool that defense with their passing game. But I think we looked at the Bears stats this season. It's been a tough year in terms of forcing turnovers this year for them. I believe just 1 INT for them on the season. Is the key tonight for this Bears team to force turnovers against this Knights offense? And on the other flip of things, what can they do on the offensive side against a very good Knights defense?
Well, I think, first of all, Nick, they have to control the line of scrimmage. I think that's what every team wants to do in every game, and it starts by being able to run the football. Now, what we have seen, opponents against Old Bridge have been able to run the ball a little bit. They have given up some chunk plays every now and then. So you have to be able to control the line of scrimmage if you're East Brunswick and you want a chance. And going back to your first point, Nick, I think that defense is going to play a factor in terms of turnovers. I think if East Brunswick expects to win this game, they are going to have to force 1 or 2 turnovers, get their offense on a short field, get their team with a lot more confidence, and start planting that seed of doubt in the Knights' heads as well.
Yeah, as we saw last week, the biggest concern for the Knights this year has been kickoff returns so far have been plaguing them the last couple of weeks. And you mentioned earlier on, penalty yardage has been a big factor. That game against Piscataway, that one big play for Nugent, called back on a holding play where Nugent got all the way down to the 2-yard line, but was called back to the holding. It led Piscataway to gain that victory in that game. But as well as that happening, there were other mistakes for the Knights in that game. They had the snap go behind the punter into the end zone for a safety, a couple fumbles, including one that was a scoop and score. So if the East Brunswick wants to have a chance in this game, they're going to have to force some turnovers to force the Knights to get into that spot where if you can force some penalty yardage as well, it really might get to the Knights' head.
Yeah, absolutely. And what I said before in the open, too, is that, Old Bridge has beaten themselves a lot in these games, especially the games that they lost. They can look at 5 or 6 plays that really cost them the game, and it had nothing to do with their opponent. They were guilty of those mistakes. Let's see what they have to offer us here.
Opening kickoff underway. It looks like it's going to be Jaden Griffith on the return. We mentioned he had a kickoff return last year against these two. Up the right sideline. Still going down that sideline. And he's going to be ruled down, and it looks like at around the 41-yard line. And that's where the Knights will pick up their opening possession.
Yeah, nice start there. That's what you want if you're Old Bridge, and that's something that they've had, especially here when they've played at home. They've always got good starting field position, and early in the game, that's important. That's one of the reasons why you like getting the ball first, because now you can dictate field position for the rest of the half. At least that's the hopes here with good field position.
And not only that, Dave, but they can also dictate the time of possession in this game. A couple weeks ago when Joe and I were on the call for that first game against Piscataway, a 9-minute drive to start the game for the Knights, pretty much milking the entire first quarter clock. So let's see what the Knights offense has in store here. Obviously, we have an early whistle. Officials timeout. It looks like one of the Knights players is going to come off the field. That's Olivencia coming off. Wondering maybe that's an equipment malfunction that he has to fix while he's on the sideline. So Calvin James will be the one. That will be now set up to the right side of Nugent. He takes the snap in the shotgun. Still looking for somewhere to go. Now he scrambles. Still looking, flag on the field. And was just overthrown for his intended receiver right there, second down. But we'll see what the flag is behind the field. In the area of holding, Dave.
Yeah, and again, that's something that has plagued this Old Bridge team. Turnovers, especially on the offensive side of the ball, putting them in first and long, second and long situations, and it looks like it'll be no different here. They decide to opt for the pass on the game's opening play, and they get guilty of the holding.
So early on, the Knights trying to go with the early pass, but the incompletion will do no bother as it's a holding on Old Bridge, and now makes it 1st and 20. Upcoming on their next play, and we'll see if they get Olivencia back into the game after he had to sub out early on before that first play started.
And that's going to be the subtext of this game, Nick, too, is can you get yourself out of these big holes to start drives? And we've seen at this level, both sides, Old Bridge and their opponents, have had trouble converting these first, second, third, and longs because it does make you one-dimensional, and that's what these teams do not want to be.
Nugent has trips to the left, the receiver to his right, takes the snap and the shotgun. It's going to Dixon. Dixon down the sideline. And it looks like he just got around back to the original line of scrimmage.
Yeah, Dixon, when he gets into that second level, Nick, he could be a problem because when he squares those shoulders, he's a big guy. And, he's had some trouble getting away from that first wave, but once he gets to that second wave, he's very dangerous.
And Dave, you see right here, quick tempo from the Knights offense. It's another handoff, or fake handoff, Nugent down the sideline, but overthrows his intended receiver, Griffith, on that play. And it's going to be 3rd down and 9.
Yeah, you can kind of tell, though, Nick, that that's something that they want to do. They want to be able to go downfield consistently in this one. They almost had another completion there.
And you saw also as well, they even fooled me on that play. Looked like they were about to hand it off once again to Dixon, but the read option fake pass right there from Nugent, but just overthrows his intended receiver, Griffith. So it's an early 3rd and long here for the Knights offense. They've been pretty good this season on 3rd down, looking to continue this drive right here. Meanwhile, the Bears try to get an early stop. 3rd down at about 8. Nugent takes a snap in the shotgun. It's a quick screen pass to Dixon. And Dixon down the right sideline, still has some room to the 30. And he's going to be ruled down at that 30-yard line. So, Dave, they go with the halfback screen there on 3rd and 8, and they get the first down into Bears territory.
That's a nice job, and he was wide open on that screen as well, Nick. And all he had to do was make a couple guys miss in the open field, and pretty easy looking.
Most dangerous play you could have if you're a defense right there, that screen play to that right sideline. Dixon got plenty of green room to run. Nugent takes the snap, hands it to Dixon in the inside. Late flag is thrown as Dixon gets a gain of about 3. We'll see what the flag is on the field.
Yeah, Old Bridge not allowing us to watch any replays here, Nick. They are working extremely quick.
Yeah, it was tough for me last week doing engineering as well. I was trying to get as many replays as I could, but that quick tempo offense that they have isn't really allowing you to, try to clip it and try to shorten what the replay could be.
Meanwhile, there was a penalty on that play as well. This time it goes against the Bears, and it looks like it may be enough to give Old Bridge the first down after a 4-yard run. It looks like it might have been a 15-yard penalty there.
It might have been a face mask. I didn't see the exact call on the field, but given that it was a 15-yard penalty there, Dave, you have to believe it was most likely in that area of face mask or maybe a personal foul on the defense. But nonetheless, the Knights are now into the red zone at the 15-yard line. Nugent one again is in the shotgun. Has a receiver in motion. That's Griffith. He gives it to him on the jet sweep to the left sideline. Griffith still running. Still down at the 1. Is he in? They'll mark him down just short of the goal line. And it'll be first and goal coming up for the Knights. Griffith was in motion on that play. They got all the way. And you see right here, it looks like it may be a tush push. And immediate flag.
Flags, though.
Knights once again going for that quick tempo offense, but that could be the danger sometimes of running that quick tempo, Dave. An immediate false start as they try to look. Maybe it looks like they were going for maybe somewhat of a tush push to try to get that first touchdown of the game.
Yeah, they were, but now they got to back up, as we did get a chance to see that last play by Dixon. And there's just been a lot of room around the tackle there a couple of times now for Dixon, and just 1 yard away from cashing in. But now they'll have to do it first and goal from the 6.
Now, Dave, you can correct me if I'm wrong. Was that Griffith that ran the jet sweep, or was that Dixon that ran the last play?
Not sure. I'd have to go back.
Well, look at the replay. Regardless of that, the penalty moves them back a couple yards. Now first and goal at around the 6. Inside handoff. This is to Endez, and he's going to be ruled down. It looks like at around the 4-yard line. It'll be second and goal from that 4. Endez now will sub back out, and they'll bring back in Dixon. It's a dangerous spot early for this Bears defense. Their offense, as we mentioned, has been struggling so far this season, and they are in danger of trailing early on. This is a spot, Dave, where you might see that read option play into a factor for this Knights offense, try to get into the end zone.
Absolutely, and going back to that last play, that was Griffith, Nick. That's my fault on that one.
So once again, Nugent under center. Dixon in the backfield. Dixon will get the handoff, and he'll be wrapped up at around the 2-yard line. 2-yard pickup will make it now third and goal. And obviously 4-down territory here for the Knights in this spot of the game, but certainly could be a confidence booster, Dave, for East Brunswick if they're able to get that goal line stand. 2 more plays to do that.
Yeah, and it all goes back to that great tackle to get Griffith down at the 1 about 3 plays ago. Then you get the penalty, and now they have to work their way back to the 1-yard line, potentially for 1 or 2 plays here. I would think they would go for it on 4th here, the way they've been running the football.
Once again, Nugent will be under center with Dixon in the backfield. Receiver to his left and right. It is a handoff to Dixon, and he is going to be stuffed at the line. He might have lost a yard. It looks like they'll rule him down at the initial line of scrimmage at that 2-yard line. Great play in the backfield, and now it makes it 4th and goal.
Yeah, that's just a great push defensively, right up the gut. It's power versus power on that play, and East Brunswick wins it. So here we go, 4th and 1. Huge play here early on. 7:30 remaining in the first quarter.
Yeah, I mentioned what the Knights do best as well as the time of possession in these games. And already their first drive of the game, just about 5 minutes into this first quarter. But now 4th and goal at around the 2. 2 receivers to the left and right of Nugent. He is in the shotgun with Dixon to his right. Griffith in motion. Fake handoff into him. It's an inside for Nugent. He is in for the score. Touchdown, Knights.
Yeah, it was a good misdirection play, and Nugent got stood up initially, Nick, but it's the second effort, keeping those shoulders square, keeping them down. That leads to the touchdown. Great play all around.
And the play that set them up to get inside the red zone was that jet sweep to Griffith earlier in the drive. They go with it once again on the fake this time. Nugent keeps it to himself, gets in for 6, and you mentioned that second effort to get into the end zone as well. Gives his team an early 6-0 lead with the extra point pending. Snap, kick is away, and it is right down the middle. It's good. Early 7-0 lead.
Look at it here. You can see there's the initial hit at about the 2.5-yard line, and Nugent does the rest. I believe that's his 8th rushing touchdown to match his 8 through the air. So 16 total for Nugent. A drive that took 4 minutes and 58 seconds.
A very impressive drive, to say the least, for this Knights offense. Talked about how they control the line at the, they win the game in the trenches with their line. A good opening drive, as you mentioned, about 4 minutes and 58 seconds into this first quarter. And an early 7-0 lead. And for East Brunswick, that's a tough one for them right there, Dave. had them at the 2-yard line. It looked like they were about to stop Nutra from going into the end zone, but that second effort just got him in there for the first points of this game.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't know if Old Bridge elected to get the ball first, Nick, or if East Brunswick decided to kick the ball, but that's exactly what you want to do when you get the ball first in the game. Send the message, set the tone, a 59-yard drive to start things off, and you're up 7-zip in your own building. That's got to feel great.
Now, what might not feel great for the Knights is the special teams, which has been a big problem for them these last couple weeks. Kickoff return allowed against Piscataway. Another kickoff return last week against South Brunswick. Obviously looked to avoid it once again here on this ensuing kickoff between them and the Bears. Just short kick. I'm not sure if it hit one of the Bears players. It does go into the out of bounds. Did not see a flag either, so it might have touched that player.
Yeah, I believe it did, Nick, and if that's the case, then it worked out pretty much the way Old Bridge wanted it to.
And that is
no
indeed
return,
the case.
And not the greatest of kicks, of course. They'll get the ball in respectable field position, but they'll take this here. 1st and 10 for East Brunswick with no return at the 27-yard line.
And I think if you're Coach Matt Donahue, I think you're in a spot where you don't want to have that 7 points or 6 points put on the board because of special teams, which has been the issue for them the last 2 weeks. And you can make the case that that is one of the reasons why, unfortunately, they were not able to come out on top against Piscataway a couple weeks ago. But the touchdown they gave up against South Brunswick last week, the 6 points were only on that kickoff. That were the only points the Vikings would get. Christie takes the snap, looks down the left sideline. That one is almost intercepted as Noah Rios almost got the pick on that first play of the drive.
And Rios wanted it for sure, Nick, and he probably should have got a little bit of a late bump there towards the end of the play.
Now, for East Brunswick last week, they came off a loss to Monroe, 34-12 loss in that game. Dave, that was a tough one for them. They were trailing 27-0 in the third quarter. You see right there, Christie almost gets intercepted as he threw that one to double coverage. Receiver in motion. As Christie does take the snap, it's an inside handoff. And maybe gets a yard on that play, if anything. And it's going to be third and about a long 9.
Yeah, and we said it. What both teams want to do in this game is control the line of scrimmage, get the push there in the trenches, and Old Bridge was able to do their part with the run game on their drive, and eventually at some point, East Brunswick can throw the ball, but you need to control line of scrimmage with the run game, and right there, Old Bridge wins that battle, force a 3rd and long.
As Marquez on the last handoff for this Bears offense. 3rd and about a long 9. Christie does take the snap, looks to his right, and that one is going to be incomplete. Looks like the intended receiver was Munoz on that play. And it's an early 3 and out for this Bears offense.
Yeah, and obviously not what you want if you're East Brunswick, but that part just looked like it was miscommunication there with the route, Nick. Looked like the receiver was continuing to run his route up the field on the slant, and Christie wanted to meet him right there where he set his feet. So 4th down and a long 9, and Old Bridge is going to get the ball right back on a drive that only has taken 52 seconds off the clock.
Yeah, that's something for East Brunswick that, you obviously want to take a lot of clock off because you don't want to give the Knights more opportunities in this game, but an early 3 and out is the case. Punt is away, almost blocked. And it's going to be rolling past the 50. And it'll be ruled down at the Knights' 46-yard line. So once again, Dave, excellent field position for Old Bridge to start this next upcoming drive.
Absolutely, Nick. And we should mention, we do want to mention it because I understand we are having some choppiness on our broadcast, and there really is nothing we can do about it. We are on Plan C here at Old Bridge. There is no Ethernet here. There is no Wi-Fi, and so we are using our cellular service, and with thousands of people in the building, it's just the bandwidth is going to be an issue. But what we do want to let people at home know is that if you're experiencing choppiness, if it's not coming through okay, at the end of this game, we go back and we put up the raw original footage up on YouTube, and you get a nice clean broadcast at the end of the game. Unfortunately, that's the price of doing business here at Old Bridge, unfortunately, with our Wi-Fi signal.
Nugent on this first down, hands it off to Dixon. Dixon down the left sideline. And he'll be ruled down just short of the first down marker. About a 7-yard pickup on first down, but that was an issue, unfortunately, Dave, a couple weeks ago as well when we were here against Piscataway. And unfortunately, it kicked us off the air just before the final play of that game against the Chiefs. The Chiefs defense would force a turnover to get the win in that game. Fake handoff for Nugent there. Goes deep down the left sideline, but overthrows his intended receiver on that play. And once again, they go with the fake inside handoff, Dave, and just another overthrow from Nugent, unfortunately. And it'll make it third down.
Yeah, just missing on those, but guys are coming open down the field behind the safeties of this East Brunswick team. So it's a problem here, something that they'll have to tighten up, will East Brunswick here in the secondary.
That was Serrano was the intended receiver on that last play. 3. Nugent once again will be in the shotgun with Dixon to his right. Receiver Griffith is in motion. Fake handoff to him. Nugent takes it himself. Has the first down. Has the left sideline. The 20. The 10. Down inside the 5. He's not going to get out of bounds. It's a touchdown for the Knights.
That's as good as it gets. He wanted the first down. He got about 40 more yards out of it. Tremendous play by Nugent. He's been doing it all year. And pops in for another running score.
And David, looked like initially he was going to be pushed out of bounds at around that 5-yard line, but was able to stay in bounds at the very end of that play and get the 6 points for his second rushing touchdown of this first quarter. You see right there, the defender tried to push him out of bounds. That was Marquez trying to push him out, but to no avail. Nugent's in for his second score. An early 13-0 lead for the Knights. Extra point is up, and it is good. And it's now a 14-0 lead for Old Bridge.
Well, the first drive took about 5 minutes off the clock. That one took about 45 seconds.
Yeah.
And the result is the same, 7 points, and now East Brunswick in a gaping hole, 14-0.
And this is a drive, Dave, early in this game where you get the feeling that if East Brunswick can't get anything going down on their offensive side of the ball, it could be a very long night for them in this game. First drive went for them, went 3 and out. They again gave up a touchdown just 3 plays later on the defensive side, and now have this early 14-0 deficit.
Yeah, and they've only run the 3 offensive plays, too, so the offense not really helping out the defense that has to go right out there. They were pretty much had to play that entire drive, 60 yards down the field. Their offense on the field for 3 plays, and then you got to march the defense right back out there to play some smash-mouth football, and that's what you get. A little breakdown there, and once Nugent gets to that second level, it's lights out. He's got some amazing speed, deceptively very fast back there, and scores touchdown on the ground number 9 for the season.
Now, as to his total with the 8 passing touchdowns you mentioned on his last touchdown run. As Michael will once again kick this one. It'll be sent away, returned at the 10-yard line. And a good chance right here for a return, but tripped up at the very last second. That was I believe that was number 24, Marquez, once again on the return.
Well, you have to think that's part of the scout, Nick, for this team going up against Old Bridge is like we have to maximize these kickoff and punt and special teams opportunities. And they did there as well, and once again, they got themselves set up in decent field position here at their own 33 to start this drive.
I believe that was Xavier Diaz in on the tackle. If not for him on that play, Dave, Bears might have a very good chance of returning that kick for a touchdown to make it a one-possession game once again. Christie in the shotgun with the running back behind him. Receiver is in motion, takes a snap, does hit. Oh, my goodness, Dave. Ball is on the ground. Did the Knights recover that? I think they did. They're going to say that the runner was down, but, man, that was a vicious hit laid out by Samir Evans.
Well, we're about to see it again in slow motion. Evans has been doing this all year long, and this is probably his biggest hit of the season.
I mean, can't say much more about that. Good motion to the inside for him to get to the running back, and an immediate brought down with pretty much a hit stick on that play. Dangerous play for both parties, but Evans obviously wanted to get that fumble recovery. The runner was ruled down, so it is a 1-yard loss on the play. It makes it second down and about a long 11. Christie once again in the shotgun with the running back behind him. Takes a snap, looks to his left, a quick throw, and the pass is completed at around the 37-yard line. Make it third down.
Yeah, Yeah, so it makes it a shorter 3rd and 5 now.
I believe that was
That's manageable.
I believe that was Ordonez on that last catch. But you mentioned it, a 3rd and more manageable 5 after that loss on 1st down. And after going 3 and out that first drive, the Bears really could use a conversion here to try to avoid another 3 and out to start this game. They'll stay in the huddle. Now we'll get ready to get set. 3rd and a manageable 5 now for East Brunswick. Christie originally in the shotgun, now moves up to his line. Now goes back into the shotgun. Trying to draw them offside. There was movement. See what they call on the field, and it is a false start. So the Bears right there are trying to get them to jump offside to get the neutral zone and potentially get the first down through penalty yardage. But instead now, it's now a 3rd and 10. So after we had mentioned it was more manageable on 3rd and 5, now it's 3rd and long once again for this Bears offense.
Yeah, and I really love what the Bears did on 2nd down to kind of have their yards to go there on that play. But now with the penalty, it's rendered moot. And now you need the long pass through the air, you would think, off the arm of Christie. And if you're Old Bridge with a 14-point lead, you could send a rusher or two in on Christie here trying to disrupt what's going on in the backfield.
Receiver once again in motion is Munoz. Christie takes the snap, looks again to his left. Pass is completed. Good block down the right sideline. And it's going to be a first down for the Bears. Pass is caught by Charleston. And a huge 3rd down conversion right there for East Brunswick.
Well, you said it. What a great block to spring him free on that one to get the first down in the open field. That was a sensational play. We'll take another look at it when we can.
Charleston caught that one underneath. And as we mentioned, the block right there, able to get him that first down yardage just near midfield. Second look at that play.
Great block in the open field to spring him loose.
Rosado was the one on that block. Give him his flowers for that play. Keeping this drive going for the Bears. As Christie once again has a receiver in motion. Receiver stays in motion as Charleston. Inside handoff is faked. It is Christie on the run. Christie still down the right sideline and is pushed out of bounds past midfield and into Knights territory.
Yeah, and Christie is the team's leading rusher as well. He's got that, Brody Nugent-esque to him, the ability to get outside. And that time, that was like another good fake right up the middle. Looked like Old Bridge bit down a little bit on that fake, and it sprung Christie off tackle right side, and they were able to spring it for a gain of about 6 or 7 on the play.
Yeah, Christie had a touchdown in the Bears' last game on the ground, as well as one through the air in that game against Monroe. 2nd down and about 4. Once again, Charleston is the run in motion. And it looks like a miscommunication play right there for the Bears. Pass falls incomplete. But it looked like on that play, Dave, they were looking maybe for an inside handoff to the man in motion. And instead, the miscommunication almost leads to a turnover forced by the Knights defense.
Yeah, I agree. We might see another look at it. I can get it queued up right. It looked like there was some indecision there because it looked like they wanted to run the option. It just never materialized.
Here's a second look at the play. Just falling incomplete. Tajudeen, the running back, was the intended receiver. 3rd down for Christie. He throws it deep. He's got a receiver. That one is caught down inside the 5. It is a touchdown for the Bears. Felix Munoz on the touchdown reception puts the Bears on the board and makes this once again a one-possession game.
Well, that all started with good time for Christie in the pocket. They were bearing down on him pretty quickly, but he was able to see Munoz down the field and was able to pick him up and read him in stride with the score.
Good protection as well for Christie. Had just enough time in the pocket. And get a second look right here as the extra point is being set up. But Christie looking quick, and that was his first read as well, Dave. Munoz was wide open, no safety in sight, just able at the very last end of it to get that score and now make this an 8-point game. As the extra point attempt is up and is good, and it's now a 14-7 lead for the Knights.
Yeah, that was a great response, truly great response for East Brunswick on that drive. They really needed anything but a 3 and out, and they were able to spring together some first downs there, backed up after that penalty. Remember the 3rd and 10, the great block in the open field, and this collection of small plays really making a difference and has gotten East Brunswick right back in this game. They should feel pretty good here with 2:10 remaining.
And think about it as well. Zamir Evans almost had himself a fumble to start the drive as well, but the runner was ruled down by contact. And then the 3rd down conversion as well for Charleston, got that good block to get the first down. A couple plays later, you see the touchdown right there for Munoz to make this now a 7-point game. And early on, Dave, almost 10 minutes into the first quarter, 21 points so far scored between these two teams. So far, not going to say anything just yet, but looks like we could be in for another offensive explosion here at Lombardi Field.
Well, we don't mind those too much. We'll take them sometimes. I myself prefer the big defensive games, Nick, but I'll take these too. Look at this great play and a nice pass too, and a good job by Munoz to track it with 3 slate gray jerseys giving chase. But that's a nice play all around for the Bears.
Yeah, it's a touchdown that we mentioned that the Bears desperately needed. It was already down 14-0 in that spot. It's a short kick. Once again, takes the hop, and it's Griffith on the return. And he gets met up in the pile, and it'll be ruled down at the Knights' 36-yard line for the next upcoming possession. So far for Old Bridge, 2 for 2 in this game. Brody Nugent, of course, the one with both the touchdowns in this spot. 2 rushing touchdowns so far in this game. Dave, he has been up to one great start in this one.
Yeah, 100%. And now if you're East Brunswick, the pressure is on you defensively because the offense has done their job. They've gotten you back in this game. They've made it a 1-score game, and that's all you want. When you're playing on the road, you want to be, obviously you want to have the lead, but you always want to be within 1 score. And they've done their job there. Now it's up to the defense to get off the field for the first time in this game. Right now, Old Bridge has had their way offensively.
Yeah, great turnout as well here at Lombardi Field for the Old Bridge faithful. They want to certainly quiet them with some stops on defense, but here's Dixon out on the open field, down the left sideline, cuts it back inside the 40, and down at the 38-yard line. Great opening play on that big run from Jeremiah Dixon for first down.
Yeah, and those off-tackle runs have been working here for Old Bridge, and they cut him up with another one here. They will go quickly, so we won't be able to watch this after this play, maybe on the next one. But another chance for Dixon to get sprung out, left side.
Dixon once again in the shotgun. Will fake the inside handoff. He'll throw it to his right. That one is caught down the right sideline. That one caught by Rios. And he's ruled down at around the 20-yard line, but another first down for this Knights offense.
And just more communication in the secondary for the Bears, Nick. That time, it was kind of a zone buster where Rios kind of went underneath the zone, and both safety and corner went to the deep wide receiver on the play on the right side and left him wide open.
Another fake handoff, and there's Nugent once again. Cuts it to the right. He's got the touchdown, Dave. His 3rd of the first quarter. And once again, that tempo offense plays dividend for this Knights team. They now have a 20-7 lead.
A first quarter hat trick. How do you like that? Another touchdown for the junior quarterback, and he's just so multi-dimensional. And we'll get a chance to see it again here on replay in just a moment. But right now, East Brunswick just does not have an answer for number 16.
And we say it every week for the opposing team's defense. How do you stop a quarterback like this with the blazing speed that he has as soon as he turns the jets going up the field? As soon as he faked the handoff right there, immediately cut it to the right side where there was not a defender in sight. And now his 3rd rushing touchdown of this first quarter. Extra point is up, and it is good. And Old Bridge once again goes back up 14. It's now 21-7.
Well, you know, Nick, they make it look really easy, but those plays really are not. You know, if you're Nugent, you have to look in front of you. You have the receiver bearing down on you, expecting a handoff, depending on what you see. And for Nugent to see what he saw in the hole opening up, for him to opt not to hand that off and then find and navigate himself to that goal line, just a tremendous play all around for him.
And think about what the Knights have done offensively as well, Dave, the last 2 possessions. They have ran a total of 6 plays their last 2 possessions. and have gotten 2 touchdowns, both on the legs of Nugent. And that drive started with the run by Dixon, then a throw on first down, and then this touchdown right here to put his team back up 14 points. Now a 21-7 lead with still with just about under a minute to go in this first quarter.
Yeah, I mean, we can hardly keep up at this point. 55.9 seconds to go in the first quarter. And Old Bridge has put up a 21 spot here.
Already 28 points combined, and as you mentioned, 21 of them coming so far from this Knights offense. Very high-end kick right here. It will be returned. A little bit of a bobble as well. Down the left sideline. And pushed out of bounds is the returner for the Bears at around the 27-yard line. That was Tajuddin on the return. So it'll be 1st and 10 from that 27-yard line. Very good drive last time out for the Bears offense, Dave. But once again, they are back down into this hole of a 14-point deficit. What do they need to do on this next drive? Do they need to just keep doing what they did the last time out, or do they try to do some trickery here to try to get back into the end zone?
Well, I think, they had a couple of running plays that were able to soften up the underbelly of this Old Bridge defense, but really what's helped them is the time that Christie has had in the pocket. It's not to say that Old Bridge hasn't been getting in on him, but they've given him just enough time to survey up the field, find some guys middle of the field, and then on that last big play to Munoz, they need to just continue to give him time to throw.
Christie will hand it off inside, and it looks like about a gain of 2 on the play. Tajuddin was the one on the inside carry. They'll make it 2nd and about 8 for the upcoming for the Bears. First quarter is winding down here in Lombardi Field. Under 30 seconds to go. A 21-7 lead for the Knights. See if the Bears run one more offensive play here to end this first quarter. Receiver in motion once again. Christie will throw it to him on the bubble screen, but that one is blown up by the Knights defense. Great tackle in the backfield. That was Valinati on the tackle for loss, and that will end the first quarter here at Lombardi Field. A now 21-7 lead for Old Bridge on that last rushing touchdown from Brody Nugent, his 3rd of the first quarter. A very impressive start so far from this Knights offense. Nugent's 3 touchdowns will give his team an early 21-7 lead as we head to the second quarter. Knights lead this one.
Nick, let's keep it right here if we can.
Very high action first quarter for us, Dave, as we saw 28 points put up on the board in that first quarter. Now it's another 3rd and long coming up for this Bears offense, as that last bubble screen play did not work into their favor. Now 3rd and 11 coming up here to start the second quarter, as the Knights defense is looking for another quick 3 and out. Try to give their offense another possession to score in this first half. Let's see what Christie and company have here on this 3rd and long. As trips to his right with receiver to his left. Looking to the sideline for the play call, looks like. They'll also be waiting for the official to blow the whistle for the start of the play clock. And there we go. Okay, 3rd and 11 coming here for the Bears. Looking to get another 3rd and long conversion in this game. Christie takes the snap, looks to his right. He'll throw it to his right. Pass is caught down that right sideline, but just not enough room to run was his receiver. About a 3-yard pickup will now make it 4th and 8.
Yeah, and that one looked kind of dead to rights there, Nick. Unless you're going to make 2 and 3 and 4 defenders miss on that play, there's no chance. And I can't imagine that they will be going for it here this early in the second quarter, down by 14. But that's a little bit of a dubious play call for me, Nick, especially given, the success that East Brunswick has had attacking the middle of the field defensively off the arm of Christie, but looked like they were banking on maybe Old Bridge to sit back a little bit in coverage. They did not. They made a great play, and now they have to punt.
That was Ethan Hernandez on that last reception. Had a big game last year between these two teams. High snap on the punt. It is a short kick down that right side, or left sideline, excuse me, and we'll get just past the 40-yard line and out of bounds at around the 38. As Old Bridge will look to make it 4 for 4 to start this game, Dave, with another touchdown on this next drive.
Yeah, now East Brunswick needs an answer, right, Nick? I mean, their backs are up against the wall. They're down by 14. Once again, their defense has been only given a 3-and-out to work with, so just a quick breather, a quick chance to get some instructions from your defensive coordinators, and now you got to go right back out there and try to solve this puzzle here that Old Bridge has put in front of you and that so far you're 0 for 3 against, and that's a tough position to be in.
As I mentioned, the Knights have ran 6 plays since that opening drive and have gotten 2 touchdowns, both of them coming from the legs of Nugent. He fakes the handoff there. He'll throw it deep. Wide open receiver! It is caught by Griffith. Did he catch it, though, is the question.
I'm not sure.
Did that ball hit the turf is the question there, and it looks like they're going to rule that incomplete. But there also was a flag, Dave, on the field, and that was against the Knights offense, so disregard anything if it was a catch or not. I think it was an illegal formation they called on the Knights offense.
Well, I know it's a moot point, but we'll get a chance to view it a little bit slowed down here. It looked like Griff. Oh, no, there it is. Yep. Just back it up just a little bit. And there it is. There's that ball.
Yeah, you see it at the end. Once he hit the turf, the ball hit the turf as well. But as you mentioned, it is a moot point with the penalty on that play. So tough one right there for the Knights. It looked like maybe Griffith was going to have himself a walk-in touchdown. But a short throw leads to the incompletion, and then it's a penalty regardless of that happening. So we'll now make it first and a long 15 for the Knights right here.
They've missed on that play a couple of times now, Nick. They've had East Brunswick beaten.
And off to the inside is to Dixon. And it looks like maybe he got a gain of just about a yard on that play. Make it second and a long.
Yeah, and that time you try the misdirection, if you will, and everybody expecting pass on first and long. You try to mix it up underneath with Dixon, try to get him to that second level. Wasn't working. And we'll see if they have to go back to the air here on 2nd down and 14. But I'll tell you what, Nick, that was, the 4th time they've had somebody behind the safeties, and they're 0 for 4 on those plays right now. And in a game where you're up by 21-7, you don't think that you're making that many mistakes. But, man, they have left some points on the field right now with these long passes. We'll see if they can tighten it up.
Nugent rolls to his right, looking for a receiver. He has his receiver there, Olivencia. And he'll be stood up at around the 41-yard line and make a 3rd down.
Yeah, but it cuts the yardage to go in half, which is definitely a positive here. So you have some options. Looks like a 3rd and a long 7. So we'll update that.
I think the biggest thing for the Bears right now, Dave, is it hasn't been much of a tempo offense on this drive for Old Bridge. So the Bears are getting a little bit of a rest. 3rd down here. It is a screen. Griffith is under the meat. He goes down the right sideline. He might have a chance. Late flag is thrown inside the 5. Griffith is in for the touchdown, but we'll have to see what the flag is for. Might be a block in the back on that one, Dave.
Yeah, it looked like it. We had a good vantage point. We'll get to see it again as well, but that'll take, I think it was points off the board. I think Griffith was able to get all the way in, and once again, it was on an underneath little screen pass where Nugent was able to look off on the right side.
And there's a holding on the Knights.
Yeah, I'm going to slow it down just a little bit so we can see if we can pick up the penalty here. Let's see.
And you'll see it on your screen where the flag is. There's the hold right there at the 30-yard line. So great observation right there from the official. Now, the good thing for the Knights in that spot, Dave, is they still do get the 1st down, but unfortunately the points do come off the board. But they are now into Bears territory after that last play.
Yep, so 1st down nonetheless. And perhaps the quick tempo is what is confusing East Brunswick, too. They're not really able to get themselves set. And I give credit for Old Bridge. They are they have a lot of different things coming out of the hat right now, Nick.
Yeah. Joe and I saw that last week against South Brunswick. They were opening up the playbook a little bit more than we saw against Piscataway. Fake handoff down deep down the field. That one is incomplete. Great coverage on the play right there. I believe that was Hernandez. That was the one, or excuse me, that was Noah DeJesus. That was the one that got there and avoided the potential touchdown right there for the Knights to make it second down.
Yeah, we get a chance to see the nice defensive play here. Just getting up there, getting some fingertips on it, saving the play.
Well, Valencia was the intended receiver on that play. Another play, Dave, where the Knights trying to go deep down the field on that rollout pass from Nugent. But this time, the Bears had a defender back there and were able to get the swat to make it second down and a long 10.
I do like that play call, though. Nick, you know what? 1st and 10, take that shot.
Griffith in motion here on second down. Inside handoff to Dixon. Dixon cuts it to the left. Gets it just near the first down marker. It looks like he's about 2 yards or 3 yards shy of that first down marker. It'll be third and short for the Knights offense.
Yeah, but that one again, right up the teeth of this Old Bridge defense. Dixon with just a little sidestep to his left to get himself some more room on that play and puts it in a position where it's a third and short.
Now a little bit more tempo on this next upcoming play. 3rd and 2. It is a inside handoff once again to Dixon. He lowers the shoulder, and it looks like he has just enough for a first down.
Yeah, we'll see where they'll spot it here after this.
Right now,
looks like it's right at the 30 if you look at your screen there.
That's just where the first down marker is. So either they'll call it 4th and inches, or they'll give the Bears, or they'll give the Knights, the first down mark.
Yeah, you can see the side judge there, shy of the 30-yard line. So this will indeed be a 4th down.
Yeah, looks like it's going to be 4th and inches upcoming for the Knights. So we saw them try to go for a tush-push earlier inside the goal line.
Well, they are calling for an official timeout, perhaps to measure, not sure.
I think they are going to measure it. We'll see.
Unless it was just to keep the play clock from running, Nick, because that took a long time to get unfolded.
So there is no official measurement. They're going to keep it where it is. So it is 4th and inches upcoming for the Knights offense.
And although we've seen Michael take some field goal attempts this season, they will not do that here in this scenario.
Jaden Endez is the back. Maybe expect him, Dave, to get the carry here, the big-time fullback / tight end on this 4th and inches. They have Nugent right now set up in shotgun. He does take the handoff. He rolls to the left, and he's going to have a walk-in first down as he's out of bounds at around the 22-yard line. So they had Endez back there to set up as a blocker, and he ran right with Nugent on that play, and Nugent was able to get the easy first down.
Yeah, that was set up all the way for Nugent. Sweeps him over to the left side, had the fullback pulling as well. He only needed a couple of inches. He got 7 yards on the play.
Looks like they'll keep the same personnel out there here on 1st and 10 at around the 23-yard line. Nugent once again in the shotgun. He'll hand it off to Endez. He cuts it to the left, and it looks like he might have gotten back to the initial line of scrimmage on that play. No gain, second down.
Yeah, but going back to that 4th down, Nick, how much confidence do you have in your quarterback on a 4th down and maybe half of a foot, lining him up in the shotgun and then sweeping him out left side? That just shows so much confidence that you have in that play and in that blocking scheme setting up, not risking on that kind of a long developing run play. Just a good piece of confidence there and good conversion.
That confidence has helped the Knights this last couple of weeks. It is a end around to Griffith on that play. And he's going to be ruled down at around the 19-yard line. So it's going to be about 3rd and 6 upcoming here for the Knights.
So here's an interesting play call now, Nick. Do you run it with Nugent? Do you put it up in the air again? That screen, that underneath screen has worked as well, misdirection screen, if you will. At this area of the field, they've also hooked up with Olivencia a couple of times for some long touchdowns, one in the Edison game as well. So a lot on the table here to choose from.
And up inside to Dixon. He cuts it to the left. He moves inside the 5, down at around the 2-yard line. Late flag is thrown in the backfield. That was after the play was blown. So we'll have to see maybe if there was a personal foul on one of the Knights. It is right now 1st and goal, but we'll see what the penalty is.
And while you look at the officials, we'll look at the replay here. And the nice job by Dixon. He actually shed 3 tacklers on his way inside the 5-yard line. Nice play for him.
And Dave, the call on the field was unsportsmanlike conduct on the Knights offense, so that's going to push the ball back from that original spot, the 2-yard line.
Well, we mentioned it during pregame. Can Old Bridge stay away from these mistakes, these debilitating mistakes that have really backed them up? Even last week in their win, they collected, I believe it was 8 penalties for something like 70-something yards. So we get the call here officially on your screen.
And you can actually read it mouth for mouth, 15-yard penalty as well. So it is against the Knights, so that is a backbreaker. They would have had it inside the goal line.
Now, of course, I can't read lips, Nick, so I don't know. Is that at the end of the play? Will it be a first down?
I believe it was at the end of the play. I saw the flag thrown down. It is at the 17-yard line. The original spot was the 2. Once Dixon was tackled, the flag was thrown by the head official in the backfield where the offense was initially set up. So it wasn't unsportsmanlike conduct. Not sure who it was against on the Knights offense, but they do still get around the 17. They do have now a 1st and 10 inside the red zone as they try to get their 4th touchdown of this first half.
Almost the same yard marker as it was on the last down. So it negated a 15-yard rush by Dixon. You're right back, and instead of it being a 3rd and 6, it's a 1st and 10. So I guess if you're Old Bridge, you'll take that trade-off. 4 downs here inside the red zone.
It's all about the time of clock and time of possession right now as well, Dave. Under 6 minutes, around the 5:30 mark to go in this first half. 1st and 10. Here's a fake handoff from Nugent. He throws it to his right. He has Griffith. He has a block. He has a touchdown. Jaden Griffith on a, once again, scramble from Nugent. Had a great block on the outside from Olivencia, and it's now a 27-7 lead for the Knights.
Just well executed all the way around. We'll get another chance to see it here, Nick. And again, a little bit of misdirection right at the line of scrimmage. You get some over pursuit there by the corner. Leaves Griffith wide open. And that was an easy one. Griffith had to do the rest. We know he has plenty of run after the catch abilities.
Now,
and there's another flag on the play.
There was another flag on the field as well. So negate the touchdown once again. And that's going to back them up now. So let's see where they mark it. They're going to mark it at the 23-yard line. So once again, another back-breaking penalty for this Knights offense. That's now twice on this drive. They've gotten inside the goal line or have scored. And the play has been negated due to penalty yardage. So now it's going to be first and a long, let's say about 16. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, that's a brutal one once again.
That's a mood killer. Is what
Nugent will fake the handoff and he'll go inside and he'll get it back to near the initial line of scrimmage, down at the 20-yard line, and it's 2nd down.
Yeah, so second and about 12 on the play. But yeah, that is not the first time that points have been removed off the board because of a turnover for Old Bridge this season. And now, if they cannot score on this drive, that becomes just a huge focal point of this game. Chance to go up by 3 scores, but still 2nd down here. Let's see what they have to offer us.
Receiver in motion here for Nugent. He will give it to him on the end around. And down inside the 15, down to the 13. That was Xavier Diaz on that end around carry. Make it now 3rd and more manageable.
Yeah, maybe a 3rd and a short 7, long 6 here on this play. But once again, you have the distance to go here on 3rd down. And the last time they had a 3rd and 6 or 3rd and 7, it was Dixon whose number was called. We'll see what they have here as they go with trips on the left side.
Dixon now in the backfield on this next play. It is trips to the left, 3rd down. Nugent takes a snap. He's looking to throw. He scrambles. He'll throw it towards the end zone, but that one is overthrown and incomplete. Diaz was the intended receiver on the play. So decision time here now, Dave, for the Knights. 4th and 7. Do they go for the field goal? It looks like they are bringing the field goal unit out.
Yeah, I was going to say I would not be surprised if they send out Michael here for this. And you could see here just nothing developing down the field. Nugent has plenty of time. He doesn't want to take a sack. You could see that. And just misses high here. There was a chance. if that pass was perfect. But a chance to add 3. Let's see.
This is Lucas Michael with the upcoming field goal attempt. It's like about a 34, 35-yarder here. Snap, kick is away. It is up, and it is good. Lucas Michael knocks in the field goal, and it's going to be now a 24-7 lead for Old Bridge here in the first half with under 4 minutes to go.
Yeah, at first I thought that might have been partially tipped because it looked like it almost went straight up in the air. But not so. Michael just got a lot of air under it, and he was able to push it through the uprights.
A second look on the replay of this last field goal, but that's kind of what he did also on his couple of PAT attempts. We had a nice look at the goalpost as well.
Oops.
Where Michael is looking to
sure
knock
what
it
we're
through.
looking at here.
I'm not sure either, but at the tail end, you do see the football go through. So the field goal is good regardless.
At least we can verify it was good.
Get a nice look at the traffic as some of us had to endure that
Traffic's
traffic here
looking
today.
good.
Yeah,
All right. We promised the replay. We gotta show the replay. There we go.
There it is. Another high-ending kick from Michael right there. Knocks it through for the 17-point lead for the Knights here in this first half. So Michael now will send it away. And that one is going to trickle into the end zone for a touchback.
Lucky bounce.
Very lucky bounce.
For East Brunswick. And what's really important about that field goal, obviously, Nick, is that it makes this a 3-score game no matter what here. So East Brunswick will have to score 3 times to either tie this game or take the lead.
Now, they do get the second half kickoff, keep in mind, with the Knights getting the opening kick. So I think the biggest point for the Bears on this drive, Dave, get some points on the board, go into halftime, and then obviously do the exact same thing. A touchdown here would definitely be your preferability, but if you can at least get 3 on this drive, then you give yourselves a chance going into the second half.
Well, twice now, Old Bridge has scored following 3 and outs for East Brunswick. So what you cannot do here is give the ball immediately back to Old Bridge with time left in this first half. Now, there's still plenty of time here, 3:58 to go.
Christie looked like he was going to hand it off inside. Looked like maybe another broken play on that one for the Bears, as Christie does take it for a short pickup of 1, and it's second down.
Yeah, just not much happening there, and Old Bridge not over pursuing to the ball either, letting Christie come to them and just bottling them up after a short gain of only 2 yards. Make that 1 yard. It was backed up another yard.
And, you know, something that I pointed out last week against South Brunswick in that game, South Brunswick's offense was running on all cylinders. They had 2 great running backs that were really the biggest parts of that offensive scheme for them so far in their 3-0 record. And what the Knights did so good last week, Dave, is they held them to just 54 yards rushing as a team. So this Knights defense the last couple of weeks, especially on the ground, has been really good at stopping the run. Now 2nd and 9 with the receiver in motion. Christie will take the snap. He'll look towards his right. That one, it has it a receiver. He does have the completion, and he does have the first down. That was Munoz once again, who had the touchdown earlier. He's now got a first down conversion for his offense.
Yeah, just another well-executed play, and they get Christie rolling out a little bit on that one. And Munoz is sitting there in the pocket of that zone, kind of all by himself on that island. He's able to track it down. It was a little bit of a high throw, but he's able to lift up and gets met there, but well past the first down marker.
It's something that you notice as well. They had the receiver in motion. That was Marquez, and the initial defender was looking at that motion play, so that allowed Munoz to get wide open underneath and get that first down play. Christie once again will hand it off to the inside. He'll fake it himself. He's now going down the right. He had me fooled for a second as well, but I think he's just got enough for a first down.
Yeah, what a great fake on that one. Faked us out a little bit as well. Get another chance to look at it.
And they're going to give him the first down markage as well. So back-to-back first downs here for the Bears.
Yeah, you get a chance to look at the fake here. See if we can stay with the ball carrier. Yeah, our camera got faked out too. Yeah, and then picked them up.
Yeah.
Good job.
You mentioned Christie is the leading rusher for this team this season. There's another nice run right there. As they're just shy of midfield here on 1st and 10 from the 46. Christie looks to his left. Quick throw, but that one is incomplete. That was Munoz once again on the intended reception right there, but it looks like he felt just a bit early, and that's what led to that incompletion.
I was going to say, it looked like he blew out a tire there just coming out of that route, and Xavier Diaz was in pretty good position perhaps to track that and pick it off, and he was at least thinking about the big tackle on the play, and unfortunately Munoz fell down before anything can happen. But 2nd down and 10, new life here for East Brunswick.
2nd down and 10 from the 46-yard line, 1:32 to go in the first half. Bears still have all 3 timeouts as well. It is an end around, and this is Munoz once again, but he is met in the backfield. No room to run.
Yeah, that was Ethan Hernandez, Nick, that got the end around. One of his first carries, and he got driven down from about
he's
8
down,
yards.
Dave. Yeah, he took a big shot on that play, and he's still not got enough from that hit. I think that was Kavas that made the tackle for the Knights defense. And
you hope that Ethan is okay.
And you mentioned it, he got driven down pretty hard after that hit. There's about 3 or 4 defenders in that area for the Knights defense. You get a second look right here.
Yep. I mean, it's good, clean tackling, but still 4 against 1, and we see the results of that.
And Dave, keep in mind as well, because of the injury, I believe that costs East Brunswick now a timeout. So we're going to send it to a quick commercial break as they check on Hernandez here on the field as the Knights lead this one 24-7.
Lettering is a leading custom apparel and print services provider and now a proud sponsor of Old Bridge football. For over 30 years, our extensive experience in the industry has allowed us to perfect our decoration capabilities, which include screen printing, heat pressing, embroidery, and sublimation, making us a one-stop shop for all your custom apparel needs. Let us serve you. Visit us at rainbowlettering.com. Call us at 607-732-5751.
And we are back here from Lombardi Field. Hernandez goes to the sideline. He's able to walk on his own power, which is a good sight now. Third down here and long for the Bears. Quick throw from Christie, but that one is incomplete, as that one falls in between a couple of defenders as well as an intended receiver. And it's now 4th down. Now also, Dave, to keep in mind, that injury timeout does cost the Bears a timeout, so they now have just 2 remaining in this first half, but all a moot point now as they do not convert on 3rd down. And now, with just about a minute exactly on the clock, and with still 3 timeouts to go in the first half, the Knights will get the ball one more time.
Yeah, and I think in these situations in the past, Nick, Coach Donahue has been conservative here in these situations. He hasn't taken the big shots down the field to close halves, but I think during that injury break, they did update the scoreboard, and they put up an even 1 minute now that's left on the clock. So I think there was some communication, and that time is correct. So there is exactly 1 minute to go here in the first half, and now some confusion here for Old Bridge getting in and out of the huddle here, and they might have to take a timeout, and they do.
Yeah, Dave, now that I just noticed it, Dave, I think they still have 2 timeouts. I think that was the first timeout. I think the two that I was looking at on the scoreboard was the quarter and not the timeout, because I noticed the fourth down was for the down market. So that was the official first timeout called on the field. Fourth down as they play Sweet Caroline here at Lombardi Field. But it's certainly been a sweet first half for the Knights offense. 4 possessions, 4 scores, 24 points on the board, and now a potential 5th possession, 5th score to end this first half with still all 3 of their timeouts remaining. So you mentioned the big play capability that they had. We've seen it a couple times in this first half as well. They haven't been able to hit so far on that big play ability, but we certainly know that they have the capability to do so. So let's see what the Knights draw up here in the next upcoming possession.
We will see indeed. 4th down and 17, so surely a punt here. And depending on the return, that can make a lot of difference too in what Old Bridge decides to do.
Looks like maybe it was partially blocked at the line. Nugent will return it. He cuts it to the left, down the left sideline, past the 50, inside the 45, and is pushed out of bounds at around the 44-yard line. So 48.3 to go in the first half, and the Knights still have all their timeouts as well. So plenty of time for Old Bridge to try to get down the field, and we already seen them kick a field goal to end this first half. Maybe they'll try to do so again, but with those 3 timeouts, you certainly have enough time to try to get the ball down the field. Maybe we'll see some outside plays, kind of like some corner strikes, try to get out of bounds and preserve those timeouts as well.
Yeah, so by our count, they still have all of their timeouts remaining. And 43-yard line, you got to figure they need to get it to about the 10 to get it into field goal range. 15-yard line maybe. They'll probably take a shot if they get it to the 20. Still some real estate, though, with 48 seconds to go.
Griffith was in the backfield, now sets out to the left of Nugent, trips to the right. Nugent low in the shotgun, looks down that left sideline. He has Griffith. He's got it almost, though. It falls out of the hands of Griffith as he had another chance of a touchdown. But that incompletion hurts right there for the Knights, and it makes it 2nd down.
Well, that would have been the easy way to end the first half, Nick. One play, the shot play, and Griffith should have this one. He's got the separation, and he just doesn't see it through. That's an easy touchdown, and unfortunately the drop pass just leads to a 2nd down and 10.
That might have been one of those where you were looking at the end zone first instead of looking at the ball. And unfortunately for Griffith on that one, it cost them a 2nd touchdown of this first half. So now make it 2nd and 10, still at the 43-yard line, 42.9 to go in the first half. Nugent will take the snap, looks to his right, now rolls to the left. He'll now roll out to the left and go out of bounds, past the 40-yard line, inside the 40 to the 38. And that'll make it about 3rd and 5, so he does get a half of the yardage right there on that 2nd down play.
Yeah, and of course the important thing there is getting out of bounds. There is 36 seconds left now, so you have to think on this play. It's 2 down territory, I would assume here. And you don't want to leave any time left for East Brunswick on the other side of this. So first things first, they have to pick up the first down. And remember, you do have the timeouts remaining, so you could be very selective about what you want to do here.
3rd and about 5 here for the Knights. It is a handoff to Dixon. And let's see if they mark him at the first down. They're going to say he's a yard short. And that's going to force the Knights to call their first timeout. So very, very surprising call, I'm going to say, Dave, on that one. They do have the timeouts. They do go with the run on that play, but they do get held up short of that first down. And considering where they're at the field, you have to think that they're going to probably go for it, especially considering it's 4th and 1.
Yeah, I would think so here. 29.2 seconds left. I think what you want to do here, you do have 2 timeouts remaining, at least by our count. So mission number 1 is obviously get this first down. And the way they've been running the football, they should feel confident that they can pick up this hard yard and then just kind of start over. Then you got 30 seconds left on the clock. You got 2 timeouts. You could take one immediately after this play and then look 3 or 4 plays. Let's get it to the 20-yard line. Let's get Michael out there, call the timeout, end this half, see if we can get another 3 on the board.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for the Knights in this spot is clock management. Obviously, in this spot, you want to make sure you have a timeout so that you can set your field goal unit up to kick that field goal if they're not able to get a touchdown. But if they get into the spot where they have to quickly run the field goal unit out, they got to be ready for that. It is a handoff to Dixon. And Dave, I don't think he got it. I think he was stood up at the line.
Well, we'll see what this side judge on the near side. He's coming to about the 34, and that could be enough. It's right at the sticks.
They might have to measure this one, but it does look like it is a turnover on downs. And what a big stop right there for the Bears just before the end of the first half. They go right back to Dixon, but that Bears defense held front and gets the turnover on downs forced.
Yeah, tough break. 23.7 seconds left. And we'll see what East Brunswick decides to do.
Tend to think they most likely will just kneel it out to go into the second half, but they could surprise us still with some timeouts remaining on their half. Maybe try to get the ball into whatever their field goal range is for their kicker as well. They would need a good chunk of yardage to do so if they were able to get that feat. You see Xavier Diaz, he's set up deep just by midfield. They're now going to kneel it, so the Bears are going to run a play here on first down. And I believe they have just called a timeout, and they have. So not really what the Bears needed right there, Dave. They come right out of the, after getting the turnover on downs, and it looked like they were going to try to set up something to try to get them down the field and get some points. But now they have to just burn their second timeout. And if they do, in fact, have just one left, it's probably going to be even more tough to get down the field and try to get yourself in the field goal range.
Well, what would give me a little confidence if I'm East Brunswick is that you do have the one touchdown play that went pretty much, it was a one-play drive. One play, they were able to score that long touchdown. So you have that in your back pocket, but you also, down by 17 here, you don't want to do anything to give Old Bridge an excuse here, a turnover, an interception, a return on an interception, for what? To try and get something with 20 seconds left and you only have one timeout. You can only stop the clock. So whatever they do here, it has to be smart.
Once again, they're not setting up in for a QB kneel. This will be a play. Christie is in the shotgun with two receivers to his left and right. There'll be a quick throw to his right. Pass is caught. Did the receiver get out of bounds is the question. Clock is still running, and it will still run. It is a first down for the Bears. Just past that first down marker.
10 seconds to go.
Now 7-6. They got to call a quick play here. This will be the final play of this first half. Christie takes the snap. He looks, and it's another quick throw to his right. It is incomplete. No time left on the clock, Dave, but there was a late flag thrown on the field. So hold everything. We might have an untimed down to end this first half.
And it is against Old Bridge.
Looks like it was a pass interference on Old Bridge's defense.
And that's a shame because it didn't look like the East Brunswick receiver was even expecting that ball coming to him. Never looked back for the ball there on the sideline. But I believe you're right. They're going to take the result of this play, and we will have one untimed down.
I will say, if they had, I'm wondering, Dave, if they had that last timeout, because if they did, they would have called it before that play happened. But no timeout was called. They went quickly to the line. They were able to get the play up before the end of the first half. And because of that penalty, they now get that one untimed down from the nice 41-yard line. So this will be the official final play of this first half. Christie will look, go throw it deep down the right sideline, but it is out of the reach of his intended receiver, Munoz, and that will end the first half as the Knights will go into halftime with a 24-7 lead.
Well, it started out with a bang. 21 points in the first quarter for Old Bridge. They've cooled off a little bit since, but still a 17-point lead at halftime. You have to be excited about that. So we enter the half with Old Bridge clearly on top. And
Getting a home loan shouldn't feel like an obstacle course. At CMG Home Loans, getting a loan is simple. Our loan officers are here for you every step of the way. With over 2,000 five-star reviews, when you're ready to buy or refi, we'll work together to find the loan you need for the home you love. CMG Home Loans. Simplified, trusted, committed.
Rainbow Lettering is a leading custom apparel and print services provider and now a proud sponsor of Old Bridge football. For over 30 years, our extensive experience in the industry has allowed us to perfect our decoration capabilities, which include screen printing, heat pressing, embroidery, and sublimation, making us a one-stop shop for all your custom apparel needs. Let us serve you. Visit us at rainbowlettering.com. Call us at 607-732-5751.
And we are back here for almost the kickoff here in the second half. Had a little bit of some connectivity issues going into halftime, so we had to reboot our live broadcast. But it looks like, albeit right now, Dave, it looks like so far we are doing good. Hopefully that stays the same for the second half. But speaking about doing good, this Old Bridge offense has certainly been doing great things in that first half. 24-7 lead going into the second half. Bears will get the second half kickoff, but overall, from that Knights offense, what did you like the most that you saw from that Knights offense that they looked to carry over into the second half?
Well, I think what they did well is that they kept East Brunswick off balance. You know, they hit him with the option. They hit him with Jeremiah Dixon coming out of the backfield. Nugent's carrying the ball. He's dropping in some screen plays underneath the zone. He's looking deep, and really, when you think about it, Nick, they have a 17-point lead, and they have flat out missed 5 or 6 deep balls that should have been immediate touchdowns. Now, you know, listen, you can't put all the fault on Nugent. He's got guys breathing down his back. He misfired on one. Jaden Griffith dropped the ball as well. These are things to clean up, but really, this could be even worse than it is because that deep ball hasn't been there. The play has been there. The execution has not. Still, you got to feel really good if you're Old Bridge with this big lead at half.
And I think the other thing also is they haven't been able to connect on that big play, but they were still able to go down the field and still score on those possessions. And, of course, Brody Nugent is the biggest difference of that first half as well. 2 rushing touchdowns, a passing touchdown to Jaden Griffith, who's been all over the field as well in this game. A couple of jet sweep runs we've seen from him. And he also had a bid for maybe a 3-touchdown first half, missed a couple of those throws from Nugent, one overthrown, and then one that went right through his hands at the end of that first half. And as we saw at the end of the first half, that was a stop for the Bears defense. So that drop really played big for the Knights offense to end that first half. But now going to the other side of things for the Bears, what can they do in this second half now? Going with the ball to start the second half, what do they need to do offensively first to get some points on the board and then try to get their first stop? They did get the stop at the end of the game, so I shouldn't say their first stop. But what can their defense do better that we didn't really see in the first half trying to stop this high-powered Knights offense?
Well, I think defensively, obviously they didn't get that turnover that we were talking about and that we were looking for. But I think number one is they got to shore up what's going on in the secondary. They've let way too many Old Bridge receivers out there all alone. Now, again, Old Bridge hasn't made them pay for that mistake, but they've got to tighten that up. And, you know, I think defensively they have to try and get to Nugent in the backfield on those throws, and also just be aware that Nugent's going to be a threat to run each and every time he has the ball in his hands. Now, Dixon's had some success too. How do you stop all those weapons? You don't, Nick. You know, you have to just key in on stopping that one guy and make Jeremiah Dixon beat you. Make Jaden Griffith beat you. That's what they really need to do. Right now, the consortium of tools that Old Bridge has, it's what's doing the trick. They're just mixing things up to the point where now everything is beating you, really. So they just got to tighten up. Don't let Nugent get out of the pocket and beat you with his feet. And Nick, you know, I could be wrong. I wasn't keeping the count here, but I think Nugent has 3 rushing touchdowns. I remember saying he's got the hat trick in the first quarter.
He's got the.
We'll have to go back and look at it.
He has 2 rushing, and then Griffith got that receiving touchdown as well.
All right. Either way, though, Nugent has been the one beating you. And they have to tighten that up defensively. I think offensively they've done a couple of good things, especially throwing the football. I think they have to mix in the run, especially on first down. Get ahead, 2 or 3 yards ahead. I'm fine with that. Set yourself up for the high percentage throws later.
Yeah, and I think also for what has happened for this Bears defense, and it's been a problem realistically for most of the Knights' opponents this season, Dave, is that tempo offense that we've spoken about a couple times as well here in this first half is really getting to the Bears. A couple of times on the offensive side, they've gone 3 and out, and that's really led to their defense coming back onto the field in a more quick manner than they had hoped to have been, considering that the fact that they just came off the field, allowing those points to the Knights' offense in that high tempo. So I think for the Bears, realistically, they got to come out, start the second half, get some points first, and then they need to figure out a way to stop that high tempo offense that the Knights have been running in the first half. You mentioned Jeremiah Dixon's big game in terms of running, and that's really because of the factor of having that quarterback like Brody Nugent as your quarterback, where you can fake those inside handoffs and QB runs and able to get some big chunkage on your rushing yards for the day.
Yeah, 100%. And you mentioned, that East Brunswick has to set the tone early in this half. They are going to get the ball first, so now it's on them. Old Bridge has been yielding some decent field position on these kickoffs. You have to use that. Any little thing that you can kind of look to and use at your disposal, that's what you need here. So I think for East Brunswick, that's the key. And listen, for Old Bridge, the game now becomes about maintenance, Nick. You have the big lead. You're up by 3 scores. This game is yours to lose. So you have to do what you have to do, get in and out of the plays, stay away from the pre-snap penalties, stay away from the debilitating penalties that take points off the board. That did happen in the first half. The score should be 28. They did have a touchdown taken off the board due to penalties. Stay away from those mistakes. Play a fundamental good second half here, and you're on your way to being over 500.
Yeah, I think the only thing that the Knights realistically did wrong, as you mentioned, is that penalty yardage, which unfortunately has been an issue for them this season. But overall now for the Knights this year, Dave, after today, they have just one more home game left on the regular season. I believe 3 road games as well. So the last 4 games, just one here back at Lombardi Field, which will be in a couple weeks' time. I think on October 18th. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But other than that, the Knights have good momentum. I think this is the perfect time in the season for them to get this momentum. If the score stays the way it stands, there'll be 2 straight wins for them going into their game next week. So how can they carry this, going into the second half and then try to build on that going into their game next week?
Well, I think Coach Donahue has been saying it, since we've talked to him and stuff. We didn't get a chance to meet with him during pregame, but he always says it's a building. Every game you build towards the next one. You take what you've done well and you go out and you try to build and get a little bit, just try to improve, try to improve with each game, and I think that's what they have been doing. I think offensively and even defensively, they've continued to build positive momentum during these games. And, you mentioned it, they have to go on the road now for the next 2 games after this. But if you win this game, you're officially on a winning streak. Now you've won 2 straight games. That's the way you want to go into a couple of games on the road. We will not be at the October 5th game on the road, but we will be at the October 10th game against Monroe. It's a Thursday night game. We will be at that game as well on the road. So we'll be back with Old Bridge, hoping by then we'll be riding a 3-game win streak and not just a 2. But, of course, they still have a half of football left.
Now, Dave, if you could do me a favor, can you pull up these standings one more time for this season for our viewers at home? And we'll get a more closer look at to what this season entails for their standings. You mentioned Monroe. They're also 2-2 at the season. So if things stay the same for Old Bridge and these 2 teams are tied going into that matchup that you mentioned that we'll be covering later in the season, that's a pivotal game for those 2 teams. And we talked about what's happening with South Brunswick. They're now 3-2 on the season. Piscataway is also 3-2, but Piscataway right now has that tiebreaker over Old Bridge. So Old Bridge not only needs to get these wins, but they're going to need Piscataway to lose 2 games in order to get to the top of the standings.
Yeah, 100%. And that's that's a disappointing thing about losing that 1-point game a couple of weeks ago is, this is what it's led to. And this Old Bridge with a win today would have had the ability to be in sole possession of first place. But that's all in the past, and that was a game that I think if you're an Old Bridge Knights fan, you believe you should have won that game. I know the players believe they should have won that game. I know the coaches do as well. And unfortunately, though, it's a loss in the column, and all you could do now is look ahead. You have 6 total games to play. You obviously still have Monroe in your division to get through after tonight, of course, but you need to seal this game first. Hard to look ahead when you still have a half of football left to play.
Right, and for East Brunswick, going into the second half, you look at their standings in the season. We knew they were going into this game 1-3, needing that win in conference play. They lost last week to that Monroe team for their first loss in the standings. And being down 17 is going to be definitely a tough hill to climb and trying to get your first win of the season. But as you mentioned, there's still another half of football left for this Bears team to try to avoid that 0-2 start in divisional play. But I think for East Brunswick as well, even if they were to lose this game, let's say they can't come back, there's still a couple games left in the season for them to try to make sure that they can catch up ground. But being in that 0-2 start is certainly not going to be easy for them if they can't come back in the second half.
No, I agree with you, Nick, and I think this is kind of a must-win for East Brunswick as far as making noise in the National Gold Division and all of that. They need to come back. And listen, the bottom line is they held Old Bridge to just a field goal in that second quarter. And on top of that, they did have the one big play touchdown. So there is potential here. There is a little bit of a shining light. However, they have to complete the job here and put up an enormous comeback, and it has to start sooner rather than later. Of course, on this drive would be preferable.
Yeah, well, both teams are getting ready to receive the second half kickoff. I mentioned the Bears will get the second half kickoff to start. Being down 17, their biggest thing for them in the second half also, Dave, it's going to be preserving enough time for your team going into the fourth quarter. If they can get some quick drives here in the third quarter, they might give themselves a chance in the fourth. That one will be returned. Just around the 25-yard line, still going to the outside. And it looks like he'll be ruled down at the 28. Player is slow to get up, though, after that hit.
It's a good job, though, in kick coverage for the Knights. You mentioned it, Nick, in the top, how that has been something that they need to clean up and they want to do a better job of during these next 6 games of the season, and they've done a really fine job of that here in this one. But this is it. This is a big drive here for East Brunswick. Still plenty of time to go, of course, but it has to start here.
That was Marquez that was the run on the kickoff return, but would fall down. So he was able to walk up the field. That is a good sign for the Bears as they come to the field for the first drive of this second half, trailing by that 17-point margin and trying to get their first points of the second half and make it a 2-possession game as well. Very heavy set here for the Bears on first down. It is an inside handoff, and that does fool the Knights defense, and it gets them a first down on that opening play.
Yeah, nice job that time, and a good momentum-setting play right there on first down. And again, we said it right at the beginning of the game, Nick, you want to be able to control the line of scrimmage, control the tempo. It's nothing new. We're not saying anything ingenious here. This is the hallmark of all good teams, and that's a good first play.
And once again, they go back to that initial set, and it's another inside handoff. And it's about a gain of 3 or 4 yards. The play's still not been blown dead.
Well,
now officially will be blown dead.
It's like you line up your 11, we'll line up ours and just surge forward. That's a full house backfield. Everybody at the line of scrimmage, 22 players in the box. And, again, I don't hate that play, Nick. I like 3-yard gains on first down. To me, that works. And it's better than 2nd and 10. It's better than 2nd and 12. Heck, it's better than 2nd and 9 at this point.
Yeah, and we've seen what that's done to East Brunswick, having, those 3rd and longs in this scheme. And, they did get that one big play earlier down a 3rd and 10 that got them a first down that was able to set up the touchdown just a few plays later. But other than that, their 3rd and long, they really have not been able to convert on those plays. Marquez on the handoff on the outside, and he's pushed out of bounds.
Yeah, and that time they go off right tackle with that full house backfield. Just an unconventional set, and Old Bridge hasn't seen it from any of their opponents yet. I think maybe last week they might have seen that set, but now it'll make up 3rd and 4.
It wasn't very often that they did face that set, but the set that they kind of have going is kind of like you see out of those, military schools in college, like the Air Forces, the Navies, and the Armies. They run that style of offense where everyone's bunched up in the middle. You go a quick handoff to your fullback or your running back, and you'll see it once again here on third down. It's another handoff for Tajuddin, and it looks like he got back to the initial line, maybe got a yard. So it's going to be 4th and about 3, and you think with the score that it's currently at right now, you have to think the Bears are probably going to go for it, but it might be tough considering it's still early in the third quarter.
Well, they are getting another personnel set in the game here, so I don't know if they're fixing to punt here, Nick, but I'm agreeing with you. I would go here. If I'm East Brunswick, this is your chance to kind of install your momentum or instill your will on this game. Now, they lined up in the full house backfield for 4 straight plays. Looks like they have a different personnel set on the field, and now we're going to have a penalty to disrupt everything.
And it was unsportsmanlike. Wow.
It had to be something verbal, Nick.
Yeah.
You'd have to think.
I thought initially that the flag was thrown because maybe they had 12 men in the defensive unit, but that was not the case. There was, I guess, a verbal exchange made by one of the Knights' defensive players, and that's a killer right there for the Knights' defense. That's a 15-yard penalty on a play that was going to be 4th and 3, and now it's an automatic first down for the Bears.
Yep, and if you're East Brunswick, you say thank you and just move up 15 yards and run the next play.
Yeah.
And you know what? If you're Old Bridge, that's one to grow on too, Nick, because, listen, you're on notice here. You're up by 3 scores. You're up by 17 points, but, mouthing off after a play or adding, your own opinion to the referee, it's going to lead to this, an easy first down when you could have had East Brunswick stopped on 4th down. Here you go. Now you give them a new life.
And now you give them back to that initial line they were doing earlier on in the drive. But that time it is blown up. Tajuddin had no chance there. And the tackle in the backfield made, it looks like Balbuena was the one that got there first.
Well, looks like Old Bridge is starting to catch up, right, Nick? They've seen this formation now. They're getting some penetration there in the backfield, and that time running back dead to rights. There's no move to make in the backfield. I don't care if you're Saquon Barkley or playing high school football here in New Jersey, but It's just hard to get away from rushes like that.
Now they're back to the initial kind of formation they were running in the first half. So 2 receivers to the left and right of Christie, with the receiver now in motion here on 2nd and a long 12. It is a handoff, fake handoff, but it is thrown incomplete. It looks like there was a bit of a miscommunication right there between Christie and his intended receiver, Marquez. Now makes it 3rd and long.
Yeah, and that's the 3rd or 4th time that has happened where there's just been miscommunication in the route, where Christie thought his receiver would be in one place and Marquez thought the ball was coming to him somewhere else. And that's just where practice and repetitions really come into play there, as that one was put into no man's land. And now here's a big play here. And on plays like this, 3rd and 12, East Brunswick has tried to get maybe 5 and 6 yards and set themselves up better for 4th down. We'll see what they do here. I'd expect them to look towards the sideline here with this.
Yeah, it looks like maybe a quick pass. That's what they've been doing most of the time in this game. Receiver in motion behind. It is a fake to him. Now it's an end around. They might try to throw it on this play, and the receiver just has nowhere to run. That was Darasan on the run after he got the flip on the end around, but David maybe looked like they were going to try to do a wide receiver pass on that play. Just nowhere to go on that one. It breaks up 4th down.
There's just a really tough exchange there on that transition, too, with the reverse. Never did field it cleanly. And then I think you're right, Nick. I think this should have just been thrown away. Once this play is dead right here, you want to just throw this ball away.
Plenty of time to throw it away, but it looks like Darasan, originally who we thought maybe was going to throw it, just kept running and got knocked out.
It's about a 10-yard loss on the play, leads to a 4th and 23.
And they have the offense out on the field, Dave, so they are going to go for this. And it's a tough spot as well because you got 7 minutes left here in the third quarter. You're trailing by 17 points, so this could be an early big stop for Old Bridge that could potentially win them this game. But it looks like the punt unit is there to make the punt. Punters does save a high snap from going over, but time was blown off the field. I think there was a flag thrown. Yeah, it was against the Knights defense. They give up another 5 yards.
Yeah, so they'll give 5 yards back here not sure if it'll make a difference in the decision here on 4th and 18.
Well, it certainly does make a difference in terms of that punt almost going over the punter's head. A good job by the punter to keep it from going over his head, but that could have been near disaster right there for the Bears. So they'll do the try here on 4th down. Bears snap this time around. It's a good kick. It will be returned by Nugent. Nugent still on his feet, inside the 30, down to around the 36-yard line. And that's where he and the offense will pick up their next ensuing drive.
Yeah, you'll take that. That was a net of only maybe 10 or 12 yards on that punt. Good return. I know as a Knights fan, you don't want to see your starting quarterback getting pinballed like that by 5 or 6 different defenders, but he definitely has his nose for the holes here and gets them a 1st and 10 at the 36 when they could have been pinned back very deep. So nice heads-up play by Nugent to field it and return it.
I think anytime you have your quarterback returning punts or even just doing anything, even on the defensive unit, you start to cringe a little bit and hope that he doesn't get hurt on that ensuing play. Nugent does hand it off to Dixon on this play, and the burst of speed gets Dixon. It looks to be a 1st down on that play.
Yeah, just a great head of steam that time, finding the lane with which to run through and doing a great job there.
And what you see right there, Dave, quick tempo once again from the Knights offense. They are going quickly. It's another fake handoff. Nugent still on his feet, and he's going to be just shy. Maybe he got the 1st down, and it looks like he does get the 1st down. So back-to-back 1st down runs for the Knights.
Yeah, we'll go back to that original play there with Dixon. You can see just sidesteps to the left and just powers down and motors through the holes. Nothing real tough about it, just a B-gap run.
Quick acceleration as well from Dixon on that play as soon as he got the handoff from his quarterback Nugent. Nugent will take that last play for another 1st down run. He's back in shotgun. He will hand it off again to Dixon, but Dixon is met up in the backfield, and that'll be no gain on the play on that one.
Yeah, and East Brunswick needed that, if only just to kind of slow down this Old Bridge attack. And they've been backpedaling this whole drive here of 2 plays, and finally they get to kind of reset in place and get ready for a 2nd and 10.
That was a Maury Clark on that defensive play right there for the Bears defense. So about a gain of 1 on the play for Dixon makes it 2nd and 9. Nugent has 2 receivers to his left and right with Dixon in the backfield. Griffith, the man in motion. He will get the end around carry. He cuts it to the left, gets the 1st down, gets a little bit more as well, and he's ruled down inside the 25-yard line down to the 24. And it's another end around run for Griffith that gets him a 1st down.
Once again, they will try to run quickly here, but we'll see if we can get another look at this play while we can.
Tempo, as you mentioned, from this Knights offense. It's trips to the right here for Nugent on 1st down and 10. Receiver is in motion. As once again, it is a handoff to Dixon into the inside. And he picks up about a 3-yard gain on that play to make it 2nd down.
And once again, Nick, you start to look at the clock, too. We're under 4 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter. Just methodical.
Once again, another handoff inside to Dixon. It looks like you got about 3 or 4 yards once again on that play.
Yeah, and you just got to love it. Just nothing fancy here for Old Bridge. And you don't have to be with a 3-score lead. I am surprised that they're going with tempo up by 3 scores when you want to just take as much time off the clock. But, hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it.
Well, I think that's why, Dave, because you just saw movement at the line, and it looks like it was a neutral zone on that Bears defense. So they get the 1st down on penalty yardage.
Absolutely. So what do I know? You go with pace and get them right off sides, and there you go. So now you're just outside of goal-to-goal range at the 13.
So once again, it will be 1st down and 10 now at the 13-yard line after the penalty. As the Knights look to extend their 17-point lead. Obviously, we saw a field goal earlier in this spot, so definitely field goal range for the Knights. Nugent takes it on the quarterback keeper, stiff arms his way down the left sideline, And he's going to take a hard hit out of bounds at around inside the 10 down to the 7-yard line, maybe 8-yard line to make it second down.
Just goes to show you the toughness of Nugent, Nick. He's able there just to kind of run it out of bounds. He's going to get the same amount of yardage anyway. Instead, what does he do? He rolls back to the right, squares up the shoulders, and takes the defender head on. That is a tough guy play right there by the junior, and not afraid of contact and not shying away from being the instigator of these hits.
Yeah, we see a lot of his runs where he lowers his shoulder. And even on that play, he's had to stiff arm a defender on his way to getting to that left sideline and was able to get a 5-yard pickup to make it 2nd and 5 from inside the 10-yard line. A goal-to-goal situation here for the Knights. Receiver in motion once again. Nugent takes a snap. He will take it himself, and he will lose a couple yards on that play. Perfectly scouted and read by that Bears defense. And it'll make it 3rd and about 7.
Yeah, fooled me again on the play as well. But, yeah, you could see the down marker now will be moved back a couple of yards. So this will be a 3rd and 7, close to a 3rd and 8.
And they moved it just outside the 10-yard line at around the 11.
And remember, they are in field goal range here, Nick. And
they very well could go for a field goal.
And I would believe they would here if they only get 1 or 2.
Let's see what they draw up here on 3rd down and a long 8. Nugent will fake the handoff. He takes it himself, and once again with his speed, gets inside the 5 and makes it 1st and goal for the Knights.
It's a great play. They are going to go with pace again, so we'll stay with it.
They won't give us any time, Dave. Quick tush-push potential here. But once again, on a tush-push penalty is for the Knights offense. That's going to push them back 5 yards.
Yeah, unfortunate play there.
That's the second time they've lined up for a tush-push inside the 5 at around the 2-yard line. And it now draws them back to the 6-yard line for 1st and goal.
Yeah, we'll get a sense of the movement here, Nick, real quick as we'll go back to that play that we just missed. Oh, I thought we were going. Oh, we went back. All right,
we went down to the play that set up the spot, and then you'll see at the tail end.
I'm not sure, unless it was Griffith as the wideout. Let's take a look. He's kind of just hanging out. I don't really see the movement here. We'll get back to live action in just a moment.
I don't know where I see it on that play. Oh, nonetheless, it is now 1st and goal at the 6. It is a handoff to Dixon, and he is met up once again by that Bears defense. And it looks like he got nothing on that play to make a 2nd down.
Well, say what you will. East Brunswick has been good inside the 5 and inside the 10.
If you remember,
they did yield the score earlier in the game.
Right. If you remember, that was on a 4th down. They got it all the way to 4th down after that penalty. Nugent fakes the snap. He now throws it off his receiver's hands, and it looks like it is incomplete, almost intercepted. But once again, a potential touchdown right there for the Knights, and it goes right through the receiver's hands.
Oh, tough break that time.
That was Rios.
For both teams. See if we can track it here. Got obscured a little bit on the potential interception right there.
Just falls to the turf. So after that, after the penalty now, Dave, it's now 3rd and goal quickly for this Knights offense. And they were able to set up the touchdown on 4th down on that 3rd down earlier in this game for their first touchdown. Let's see if they try to set themselves into a prime position of potential 4th down here. 3rd and goal at the 6. Receiver is in motion. Nugent takes the snap, quickly throws it to the receiver in motion. That is Griffith. And they're going to say that pass is incomplete.
Yeah, Griffith never did get it into his body. He had to extend to make the catch. Went off of his fingertips, and looks like they're going to keep the offense on the field here, Nick.
And, Dave, I think that's a good choice by this Knights offense if they do, in fact, go for it. Because even if they're not able to convert here on 4th down, you set the Bears offense up inside of their own 10-yard line where you know they're probably going to run the first couple plays. And if you're the Knights defense, if you can get a stop, then you set yourself on offense for a potential punt for great field positioning.
Yep. No, I don't hate the decision at all. The only thing that gives you hindsight, of course, is going up by 20 forces your opponent to score 3 touchdowns.
Nugent takes a snap, throws it quickly, has his receiver. Is it a touchdown? It is! Touchdown, Knights! And immediate flags afterwards for, I guess, the celebration. Dave, we're going to need a good look at that one for sure, because it looked like maybe at first I thought there was going to be a bobble at the tail end of that play. We'll see what the flag is. That was after the touchdown was called on the field. I'm trying to say
See if we
that
can pick it up here at the back of the end zone.
the announcement was made, so that was at the tail end of the touchdown.
That was indeed a touchdown. There's no question about the catch.
That
at
was
least.
Griffith. That was a great catch by Griffith. So the penalty was an unsportsmanlike on the Knights after the touchdown. So they will enforce that penalty on the ensuing kickoff after this PAT. But great extension, great throw from Nugent. And as I mentioned, the extension from Griffith gets his second receiving touchdown of the night. A now 30-7 lead for Old Bridge. And they'll look to add to it more with this ensuing PAT. Snap, the kick, and it is good. And the Knights now extend their lead to 24, 31-7.
We get another look at it here. Slow down, main camera. Just a great job of concentration going across his body. What a catch. I think that makes up for the one he dropped earlier, Nick, for sure. A little excessive on the celebration, but who cares when you're up by 24 points?
I think you can get away with that if
You'll
you're up
take
24, especially if you make a great acrobatic catch like that on a fourth down that, if not caught, would have been a turnover on downs once again for this Knights offense. But great catch from Griffith and Dave. They have now scored on 5 of their 6 possessions here tonight in what has been a great offensive scheme in this one.
And there's only 35 seconds left in this third quarter, so things are looking very bleak here if you're the Bears. They had the ball first. They were driving. If you remember, Nick, I said I love those first downs where they just gain 2 or 3 yards. But what happened? They got hit with a big loss on a play. It completely derailed their drive, and now they're staring on the wrong end of a 24-point game with just over a quarter to play.
Yeah, 35 seconds now to go in this third quarter. As Bears will get the ensuing kickoff, now trailing by 24. And what unfortunately, Dave, is a game that, after they had made it a one-possession game earlier, has now seemed to have fallen away from them in this one. Here's the kickoff from Michael. It is a short kick. He returned it around the 38-yard line. And about a 7-yard return on that play, as that was Marquez once again on the kickoff return. Or excuse me, that was Munoz on the kickoff return.
So only a few possessions left in this game, and you kind of wonder, Nick, if East Brunswick, they might only have 3 possessions left in this game, especially with the way Old Bridge has kept the ball in their hands. So I think this is a must-score situation for them. There's only 28 seconds left to go here in the third quarter, so this could very well be the final play.
And they most likely will have to, if they get a score, they're going to have to quick go for an onside kick for sure, being down this many points. Quick handoff to the inside. It is a fake, though, and Christie takes it himself. And it looks like the play is finally blown dead after Christie gets a gain of about 9 on the play to make it second and short.
I'll tell you what, the fakes have been really good.
Yeah.
I mean, they've been faking everybody out, including us here in the booth, but we got another look at it here. It's a good look with our camera, Pat Gialorenzo upstairs, giving us that great look, just short of the first down.
And that, Dave, will be the final play of this third quarter here at Lombardi Field, as the Knights extending their lead now to 24 points on that last receiving touchdown from Jaden Griffith. They now have a 31-7 lead. As we head to our final commercial break, we head to the fourth quarter. Old Bridge leads this one, 31-7.
Getting a home loan shouldn't feel like an obstacle course. At CMG Home Loans, getting a loan is simple. Our loan officers are here for you every step of the way. With over 2,000 5-star reviews, when you're ready to buy or refi, we'll work together to find the loan you need for the home you love. CMG Home Loans. Simplified, trusted, committed.
And we are back for the fourth quarter here at Lombardi Field. A now 31-7 lead for Old Bridge. And now a second and short here for the Bears offense to kick off this for fourth quarter. Receiver in motion. Christie will hand it off. He'll take it himself on the fake handoff, but he has no room to run. And an almost dangerous helmet-to-helmet hit there. Thankfully, that was not the case, but it is a loss on the play. Maybe got back to the initial line, and it's going to be third down.
And that was kind of a helmet-to-helmet, Nick. I think you mentioned it as well, but just an unfortunate way that both players ran into each other.
There is a conversation for some of the officials, and there is a timeout being called, Dave.
Official timeout. Nick, while we do have this moment, just want to give a quick shout out to Coach Pat Walsh, legendary Sayreville coach, is in attendance tonight. He is the grandfather of Old Bridge's Tommy Kassoff, so we want to say happy birthday to him as well. He is in attendance, so happy birthday to Coach Walsh from all of us here with the Old Bridge Knights, and welcome to Knights football here. So proud to have Coach Walsh in the building, of course, longtime coach of Sayreville.
And certainly is liking to see what Old Bridge is bringing to this contest here tonight with this 24-point lead. Now, there's still time called on the field. I wasn't sure what the initial timeout was called for. It wasn't an official timeout, but nonetheless, play does resume here, 3rd and 2. Bunch set once again for the Bears. Inside handoff, and it looks like they got nothing on that play there. Once again, the Knights defense able to swarm in and win the battle of trenches on that play, and now make it 4th and short.
So 4th and 2, they got 8 yards on first down and nothing else. -1 actually since after that 9-yard run.
So we'll see what the Bears draw up on offense here, and what essentially were the stop for the Knights right here on this play could be the nail in the coffin for the Bears in this one. 4th and 2. Is a fake handoff for Christie, but he again has no room to run and is met in the backfield for a loss on the play. Turnover on downs, and once again, Dave, this Knights defense proves dividends and gets them a huge stop.
Just absolute great play. We'll get a chance to see it again, but Benford in on the tackle, Balbuena as well, and again, just weren't fooled. Staying home, be responsible for your gap positions, and get the ball back into your offense's hands. It's a great play there by the defense.
And it's even better that they were not fooled by that bunch set. We're looking where the ball was, and Christie kept it himself. It looks like he would have had a chance, but Benford, as you mentioned, was the first man there to make the stop. This is Dixon on first down for the Knights. And we got a nice sizable carry on that one. Gain of 7 to make it 2nd and 3.
Yeah, now the object here for the Knights is simply, run it between the tackles or between the guards and the tackles, and just get yourself 5-6 yards on each carry. Just let that clock run down. We are under 10.5 to play here in this one, and they've been doing an excellent job running the football. This is an Old Bridge team, Nick, that only averages about 4 yards a carry going into this game. And they've had a lot of big, long runs this season as well, but I think they have been very consistent. It's probably their most consistent running game of the year.
Certainly has been the case. As there's another inside carry. This one is for Rios. And that's going to be, it looks like a yard shy of that first down marker. 3rd and about 1.
Rios, one of the rare freshmen to log a lot of time here for this Knights team. And here we go in the fourth quarter, getting himself some reps in at running back. We've seen him play quarterback as well during the fourth quarter of some games.
Keep in mind as well, Dave, Nugent no longer in the game. It is Brody Hunt at quarterback, so Nugent's day is done. And for right doing so with the way his offense performed here in this game.
Agreed.
3rd and 1. There's another handoff for Rios, and it looks like he just got enough for that first down markage.
Yep, so they'll advance the sticks here. Good job by Rios to kind of extend with his back, get over the first down marker.
And I think that's also good as well that they were able to get Nugent out of this game. We mentioned 5 of the 6 drives tonight for Old Bridge resulted in points in this game. And certainly something that they are going to try to build on and try to go into next week's contest to ensure themselves of a potential 3-game win streak. We'll take the snap once again. He fakes the handoff. He throws it to the left side. It is Olivencia. He avoids 2 tackles And how about the shiftiness of Olivencia on that play there, Dave? He gets the first down.
Just an excellent job, and really he did 90% of the work on that play. Nice simple pitch and catch out in the flat, and Olivencia making 3 guys miss the rest of the way.
And I'm sure Brody Hunt was very appreciative of his coordinator giving him a passing play, considering that the current score of the game, and the Knights just trying to milk the clock in this one. Hunt does get the first down throw on that last play. As we'll get a quick look before this next upcoming first down play for Old Bridge. You see right there, great footwork from Olivencia getting down the sideline. He got that first down for the Knights. And will take the snap. He will fake the run. He throws it to his right. It is Olivencia once again, but this time is not able to avoid the tackles on that one. And he gets maybe a gain of 1 or 2 on the play.
Yeah, that pass was a little bit short-armed by Hunt. It forced Olivencia to have to come back to get it, and by retreating, there was no gain on the play, but still a nice job by Hunt to keep the clock moving as well with that catch. Olivencia coming back and making the good grab. We're just about at the 7:30 mark here, remaining in regulation.
Yeah, and you mentioned this is pretty much the game plan for the rest of the way for the Knights in this one. Get the clock running, make sure that it doesn't stop at any point while you're in on offense, and come out on top with this victory as you're about under 7:30 left in this game from going to 3-2 on the season. Hunt will take the handoff, fakes it. He now will run, and he gets upended. That was not a great-looking tackle on that play. It did look like a horse collar to me, Dave, as well. And Hunt is going to probably have to sit. He's going to have to sub out, Dave. That was a not great-looking hit, and he's down.
Yeah, we're going to get a chance to see it. I believe we'll see it slow down as well. Try to catch up with the play here.
So you mentioned Aiden Rios has we've seen some time from him at quarterback. It looks like he's probably going to have to start at quarterback at the rest of the way. But here's the run from Hunt. Yeah, that not look good. Might have had the wind maybe taken out of him as the defender fell on top of him on that tackle. His timeout was called on the field, I believe, by Old Bridge as they try to get the new personnel into this game and try to figure out who they're going to play at quarterback the rest of the way.
Yeah, slow it down a little more. That is a horse collar tackle. That should have been a penalty. So a little bit of extra attention here for Hunt, and something you don't want to see. 7:02 left to go in this one.
Yeah, so now we'll have to see, Dave, who they bring in at quarterback. I mentioned Rios, and you mentioned him as well, has gotten some time at quarterback. So we'll see maybe if they give the freshman the rest of the way here. Hunt is going to the sideline. Let's see who they sub in at quarterback here the rest of the way.
Is that Olivencia back there who's going to take the snap?
Yeah, that's Olivencia. He's going to set up at quarterback, but now they bring in Rios.
A little bit of confusion there. Rios now substitutes, and Olivencia goes into the slot instead.
It looked like Olivencia was going to set up in a wildcat to start that drive, but Rios does take the snap and hand it off to the inside. It's about a gain of 1 or 2 on the play to make a third down.
Yeah, that was to Alan Schechter, who was in at fullback, and that was a little bit of an awkward exchange there, but it will bring up 4th down, about 9 yards to go.
You're right, it is 4th down. I thought it was 3rd down. That is my mistake.
They'll keep Michael on the bench here, not risk a block and a return here. Just power forward and get the clock down a little bit further. It's 6:20 to go in the 4th quarter.
So there'll be a shotgun here for Rios here on 4th down and 8 inside near the 6-minute mark. Rios does take the snap. He will throw. He's trying to evade the pressure. He's still running, but he's going to be short of that first down markage by a couple yards. So it is a turnover on downs forced by the Bears defense with just 6:08 to go in this 4th quarter.
Yeah, I definitely respect the moves of Rios on that play. Unfortunately, he was just short by 3 or 4 yards on that one, and East Brunswick will take over, but I think the reserves do their job. Nick, they squeeze about 4 minutes off the clock on that drive and just make it all that more difficult here for East Brunswick in the dying moments of this game. And if you're East Brunswick, you just, at this point, you just want to hang your hat on something positive here going into next week. Obviously, if you can get another score here in the second half, that would be a good way here to put a punctuation mark offensively on this game.
Receiver in motion here on 1st and 10. Christie will hand it off to the inside. Or he won't, Dave, because he once again gets the fake on the inside Harry. And he'll take it himself. No gain in the play, maybe a yard, if anything, second down.
Well, you know, we saw a lot of these like unorthodox handoffs when I covered the game with John McCooch earlier against Edison, and I didn't like the exchanges at all. But I'll tell you, the fake game on East Brunswick is pretty strong.
Yeah.
They've got something there.
And as you mentioned, they're just trying to build something positive going into their next game next week as well. So they're able to at least end this game with some type of points. Obviously, you will hope for the touchdown. That will certainly give them something to look forward to, trying to build upon going into their game next weekend.
And truth be told, Nick, you know, last two games for Old Bridge have been really impressive. I mean, if this score holds and it finishes this way, you're talking about 52-13 over the last 2 weeks. And they did it first against an undefeated South Brunswick team.
Fake handoff. Christie will throw it deep down the left sideline. And that one was not fully handled by the receiver there. It's incomplete, third down.
I'll tell you what, that was a nice throw by Christie. He put it right in between two defenders.
Yeah.
And, you know, it would have been a tough catch, but a catch all the same could have been made on that play. You know, you can't really drop it in any better.
A second look at the replay here. See the fake handoff from Christie, throwing it deep down the left.
That's a perfect ball.
That was a great thrown ball, but unfortunately was not able to be brought in by his receiver, Munoz. It's now third down on this play.
Not to say that was not a tough catch either. The coverage was really good as well. Everything was good on that play. But unfortunately now, third down and long.
Christie alone in the shotgun here on third down. Now as a receiver in motion, that is Marquez. Takes a snap and looks. Looks like it's going to be a little bit of a screen. It is caught. Down the left field. Down the sideline goes his receiver. He has a chance of a touchdown here. And a hard hit at the very tail end of that play.
Well, very simple looking play, Nick, but the bottom line is goes for a bunch. And it all starts with a couple of missed tackles at the line of scrimmage. See the missed tackles here off the screen. There's one, there's two. There's potentially three.
That was Marquez on that wide receiver screen. And look, you'll see at the tail end, Dave, he took a shot from Xavier Diaz on that play. And because of that, Dave, he got a penalty for that one. So that's another 15 yards added to the end result of that play. And East Brunswick now sets themselves up inside the red zone.
Yeah, and you know what? There is still time here. There's 4:45 and counting left. And
they'll have to go very quick.
If they could punch one in quick here, you give Old Bridge something to think about.
Just in the shotgun. Throw it once again quickly, and that one is intercepted. And the Knights will pull an early exclamation point on that one as it's picked off by Munvey Franco on that play.
Yeah, so Francois just stepped in front of that one. Nick, just very simply, just getting in front.
Simple man-to-man coverage.
Seeing it develop. Same play, essentially.
Yeah. Yeah, simple man-to-man coverage on that play for Francois. And unfortunately for Christie, that throw got a little bit too to the outside instead of going to the inside for his receiver. So the Knights defense gets a turnover here. Just with under 4:30 to go, 4:28 exactly to go in this fourth quarter. As that first down play is blown up. That was Gavin Flynn, the new quarterback for the Knights on that play. So the sophomore now gets some playing time here with the injury to Hunt. So Rios on that last drive as well, a quarterback, but now it'll be Flynn for the remainder of this game.
Just like we mentioned at halftime, it was going to take a good, clean, fundamentally strong second half for Old Bridge to come out of here, and I think that's what we got, Nick. You know, they didn't have to do much. They only scored the 7 points in this half, but defensively they've just been as strong as ever, and they bent a little bit on that last drive, but they had the final say.
Well, Vince, it was the one in motion. That is Flynn that kept it to himself. He maybe got a yard, if anything, on that play to make it third down. Meanwhile, Dave, I had baseball on my mind on
Yeah,
that screenplay
left field,
with
huh?
left field. Yeah, it was not a great look, but
That,
I think I'm still celebrating the Yankees winning the division last night. So kind of got my sports mixed up just a bit on that last play, but
that's okay. You know, tomorrow is going to be the first hockey game that I call, and I remembered last year I made a hockey reference during a football game, and those two sports could not be any more different.
Sometimes when I'm calling soccer games, I do the same thing. I say football field, and I have to correct myself and say the pitch. Flynn takes it in the shotgun, throws it down the right sideline, and he has his receiver. It is caught, and that is a first down. And that
welcome
was
to the game, huh?
Yeah. And a great-looking ball as well from Flynn on that one. To throw it down that right sideline and find Olivencia for the first down at the 45-yard line.
Well, you figure 3rd and long, the reserves are in the game. You're just going to plow it up the middle, take another 40 seconds off the clock. Not really.
You see it right there. Perfectly placed ball. Olivencia was able to didn't have to really go up and grab it. And if you're the Knights, obviously you'd like to see that from your sophomore quarterback, potential future of your team.
Yeah, that might have been the best thrown ball of the whole game.
Now that, however, you don't want to see, unfortunately, as that's a big loss on that read option play. Make it 2nd and about 15.
Nick, while we have a short moment, I do want to send a shout out to my wife, Jennifer, at home. I just received her text demanding a shout out because our dogs are listening to me and their ears perk up. So hello, Jen, Lotus, and Toby, hanging out on the couch watching PDF Sports Network. Really appreciate it. Send a shout out to our friend Joe Foreman as well, who was listening to us. Joe was supposed to be on this broadcast here tonight, but change of plans and family commitments took hold. But we'll welcome Joe back into the booth next week.
Absolutely. I'm sure your dogs and your wife as well will be very happy to see you on your drive back home as that play is blown up once again by the Bears defense. They'll make a 3rd and long.
And Nick, I should send a big thank you to you as well, because you saved us at halftime with your wireless hotspot on your phone. We really haven't had any issues with the internet since that part, so really appreciate that for bailing us out. Internet here at Old Bridge really not strong and has really been giving a lot of hiccups to our broadcast over the last few weeks here, and there's really no alternatives that we have, but I'm glad your phone was up to the task.
I'm going to not lie with you, Dave. I'm surprised it stayed this long at this rate, and with under a minute to go, I'm very glad that we were able to get the final second half of this game. So
yeah, and just for the folks at home, you know, we have a T-Mobile, a Verizon, and an AT&T hotspot with us, and all of them were failing tonight, so it was just really rough.
Very, very last resort. As that play is on the ground, it is a fumble, and the Bears do have it. They will get one more offensive possession, as that exchange was not handled properly by the Knights. And the Bears, at least with 26 seconds left to go in this 4th quarter, will have a chance to go to the end zone one more time.
Well, we'll see if we can pick up whether it was on the exchange or not. I think it was. It never really had a chance to develop, and yeah, it just was never really received well. And I believe that's the first turnover of the game for Old Bridge. And now, with 28 seconds left, it hardly matters, obviously, but they did not go with a perfectly clean game in that category.
So East Brunswick will get the ball one more time. Christie will throw it down the left sideline. Does have his receiver, but it is underthrown and is intercepted. Down the right sideline goes the defensive back, and he might have a chance of a pick 6, but is brought down hard, just shy of midfield on that play. As that was Kevin Casper, the defensive back on that INT.
Okay, Kevin, that's a great way to get into the stat column as well. That pass just didn't have enough mustard on it, and just had to run under it or just kind of play it like a center fielder back there. Just see it through and right in the breadbasket there.
Yeah.
No question about it. And a nice job on the run back as well.
And not for that tackle at the very tail end. You'll see right there. Very tough hit right there. But if not, Casper definitely potentially goes all the way for a pick 6 and adds to his team lead. But with 15 seconds left, the Knights have this one in the bag, and they will go to 3-2 on the season. They'll be at the over 500 mark for the first time this year, as they will set up in victory formation. And there's the QB kneel from Flynn, and that will do it.
Yep, final seconds will tick off here. And, you know, Nick, it couldn't have been a better or stronger couple of games after a really, really tough loss to Piscataway, 22-21. They respond with 21-6, 31-7. Really couldn't be more proud of this Old Bridge team and the way they were able to bounce back. A lot of teams would have hung their heads, you know, maybe folded it up or felt bad about themselves. What Old Bridge has done instead is they turned around and put two real strong performances together in a row.
And I spoke to Coach Matt Donahue last week ahead of their matchup for the Vikings, and he said his team is still very confident despite what's happened so far. You mentioned those losses they've had this season. They have had two losses that have been by a combined 3 points. So you very well could make the case this team right now could be at a record of 5-0. Obviously, things haven't gone their way for some of those games, and unfortunately, they lost those two. But now at 3-2, you've changed the trajectory of your season. You now have a good record going into next week. You keep putting pressure as well on your opponents like Piscataway, Monroe as well, and try and get to the top of the National Gold Division standings. So a very good convincing win once again for the Knights. Back-to-back convincing wins, as you mentioned as well. And the biggest takeaway from this game is not only has the defense been strong for them these last 2 weeks, but the offense is doing it good as well. They've been playing a very well-balanced offensive attack. Running game was strong, but they also got some good throws as well from Brody Nugent.
Yeah, and the thing is, the offense has really showed up in the first half of these games and given that defense good leads and, you know, makes them play with confidence. And when you're a team that's playing ahead and playing with confidence, good things happen. Next week, Old Bridge will be on the road at Morristown. That is a game that we will not be covering, unfortunately. Just too many commitments, other commitments that we needed to tend to. But after that, they will be on the road against Monroe on Thursday night, October 10th. That is the next time we will be here in action. Get a great look at that Old Bridge Knights team, saluting their fans, saluting the band. What a great job that they done. Nick, you can take us out of here.
Yeah, great performance as well. As well as the band is here, Dave. We saw a nice halftime performance from them as well. But overall, a great showing here tonight from Old Bridge. They now win their second straight game. They go to 3-2 on the season as they defeat the Bears tonight by the final of 31-7. But from all of us here on the PDF Sports Network, we thank you for tuning in to tonight's coverage of Old Bridge Knights high school football. And we will see you in just a few weeks' time when they take on Monroe for their next contest. Once again, the final score, the Knights 31, the Bears 7. Folks, have a great rest of your weekend.